What's up this afternoon, everyone? Oh god, echoing. I forgot. Pro Tour this weekend. Usually I leave my Twitch muted, but there was a Pro Tour, so I was listening to it. Hello, fine Tuesday to y'all. Hey, thank you, Jesse. I hope you have a wonderful day, too. Good to see ya. What is up, the Raging Goblin, Die in Blue, and Stone Rain Productions, and Paladin, and Carlton, and Kamikaze, and the Raging Goblin, and Holy Loft. How is everyone today? Hopefully everyone had a spectacular weekend. Today, oh man, we have a lot to talk about. We have so much to talk about. And we also have some very janky Magic to play. So hey, what's up, Gum Gum? Happy to see you. Welcome to the stream. Lustful Jeans for the almost 3-year resub. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. So we're going to play some janky Magic today. Oh my goodness. I don't know if this deck's good. It's probably horrible, but it is kind of funny. It is kind of funny. And hopefully when it works, it'll do some really funny things. I realized, so here's what made me want to play this deck. So first, someone sent me a deck that had Retributive Wand in it. And while I think the card is probably absolutely horrible, it is really funny with Shrapnel Blast, because Shrapnel Blast is 5 damage. When this goes to the graveyard, it's 5 damage. So just these two cards is 10 damage directly to the opponent's face. And then I realized, wait a minute, Shrapnel Blast, you need to sack an artifact. We kind of want like Snapcaster Mage for Flame of Andor and to flashback our Shrapnel Blast. Arcane Proxy is actually like, it's been a really bad Snapcaster, but it's actually the perfect Snapcaster for this deck because it's an artifact Snapcaster. So what this means is we can like Shrapnel Blast a Chromatic Star or something to deal 5 damage. Then once we find Arcane Proxy, we can play it for 3 mana. We can flashback the Shrapnel Blast. Even if we don't have another artifact, we can sack the Arcane Proxy to the Shrapnel Blast that it is flashing back to get 5 more damage. And that's essentially the plan. Just like throw huge chunks of damage at our opponent's face, cross our fingers and hope for the best. So yeah, we're playing some historic at the moment. What's up, Theo? How are you? Good to see you. Did people ever message you on Arena during your stream? Ever cause issues when playing? It used to be a problem on Magic Online. Magic Online, there was an issue where people would send trade requests to you during a tournament to make you time out. They ended up fixing it. There's a way you can like stop all trade requests now if you're in a tournament. It doesn't usually happen on Arena. There's been a couple times where I add people to the friends list when we do viewer battle streams. Every once in a while someone will like message during a stream and be like, I want to play, but not a big deal. Why only 3 wands? I've been going back and forth on the 4th wand. I feel like for flavor purposes, we probably want the 4th wand. I guess we can call it like a Chromatic Star or an Implement. The problem with wand is it is 3 mana to get going. Although it can snipe Orcish Bowmasters and now Crucius as well, which is kind of hilarious. So anyway, did you see the new Ashiok and the Phyrexian Planeswalker lets you play them at a discount with, did you know that the new Ashiok and Phyrexian Planeswalkers lets you play them for a discount with full loyalty? Do you know how useful that'll be brewing wise, but it's cool. Yeah, that was on I got a big list of things for us to talk about today. We got Pro Tours, we got bannings, we got Planeswalker news, we got spoilers from Eldraine, we got States of Design, we got less Legends coming down the pike in the future. Spoilers is probably the most interesting thing. Let's talk spoilers, and then we'll do our reminders, and then we'll start playing some janky Magic. So, part of this weekend at the Pro Tour, it was a Magic Con, which means new spoilers looking ahead to Wilds of Eldraine. Spoiler season starts in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today, I believe, is a full start of spoiler season. But we got an early look at some of these cards. I am very curious how good y'all think these cards are. Like, what do you think of the new spoilers? So obviously, Sleight of Hand or reprint. It's fine, whatever. It's a common. Tough Cookie, uncommon. I think that card might be better than people think if there's a food deck. Creature Land's always sweet. I'm curious what you think. This is the big one. Actually, all these are big ones. And not really Moonshaker. Moonshaker is just, it's Craterhoof Behemoth. How can it not be good? Am I missing something about this card? This has to be good in Commander, right? I don't know if it's good in 60 card formats, but it's a white Craterhoof. It's gotta be good. I'm curious what you think of Cruel Somnophage. Is this card good? I want your opinion, chat. So, Adventure Side, Can't Wake Up, Wake me up inside. Blah, 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 blah. Save me from the dark. Can't wake up. Mill 4 cards. Target player. The creature side. 2 mana. Power and toughness equal to the number of creatures in all graveyards. Is this card actually good? I am super, super, super torn. We've seen Adventures be really strong. 2 cards in 1, always really strong. So it's got a powerful mechanic. On the other hand, I'm very skeptical. I don't know if you remember Boneyard Worm. Do you remember Boneyard Worm from back in original Innistrad days? I used to think Boneyard Worm was going to be like the greatest creature. Like, I remember when I read Boneyard Worm for the first time. Let me see if I can pull up. Is it not Boneyard? Boneyard Worm. There we go. When I read Boneyard Worm for the first time, I thought this was like the greatest Magic card. I mean, 2 mana, power and toughness equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard. This means that all I gotta do is mill myself. If I just mill myself, this is gonna be like a 2 mana 10/10. How can this not be an absurd creature? I thought Boneyard Worm was gonna be so good, and it was such a disappointment. So I'm a little skeptical of Somnophage just because of that. Like, that's my concern. Although Somnophage does have a ton of upsides. Like, you can mill your opponent if you want to. You can mill yourself to get things in the graveyard, and it does trigger on all graveyards. Part of the worry, though, is like star creatures like this. If someone wipes a graveyard, you just straight up lose the creature. Also, what do you think about Tillion? Is Tillion good? Tillion, 4 mana, 3/4 flying. When it ETBs, you choose a number between 1 and 10. Whenever opponent casts a spell with mana value, power, toughness equal to that number, they lose 2 life. You draw a card. Kind of like a Chalice of the Void if Chalice of the Void didn't actually stop your opponent from doing anything. Is Tarmogoyf playable in Standard? I mean, Tarmogoyf does have the upside of having a toughness, so it doesn't actually just straight up die. Yeah, I think Cruel Somnophage, whether or not this card ends up being good, I'm super hyped for off-color Adventures. Like, as much as Adventures were a little busted last time, it is the mechanic just plays so well. You never run out of action when all of your cards are two cards. Is Tillion actually good? I'm curious about Tillion. It does host 6-drop tribal, that's for sure. In Standard, I imagine you need 2. In worst case, your opponent kills it with something that costs 2 mana, the most common removal number, and you get to draw a card. Like, I think, boy, this kind of ties into our other conversation. Should we just ban Shieldred? We're getting ahead of ourselves. We have so much to talk about. Let's do our reminders. Like, the problem with this card is, like, Tillion is sweet, and I could imagine it being powerful, but in Standard, like, it's not going to beat out Shieldred, right? Like, that's the issue. And I feel like I kind of want them to just ban Shieldred next week, because I really don't want to spend the next year, every time a cool 4-drop like Tillion is printed, being like, oh yeah, that card's really sweet, but it's worse than Shieldred, maybe once Shieldred rotates. And that is what we will have to say about almost every 4-drop, because Shieldred's just so strong. Like, even though Tillion seems good enough that you could play it, but like, Shieldred is just better. Shieldred's just proven itself to be like one of the best mid-range threats. It's been printed a long time. So I think that's, I kind of want a Shieldred ban. Get it out of here. Shake it up. Get out of here, Shieldred. Somnophage, maybe to trigger ETB and death effects early in the game. I guess that's true. If you don't have anything in the graveyard, it does trigger death effects. I also would like shorter rotation. I want rotation twice a year. Speed it up, Watsy. Reminders, replay YouTube. That's where you find all the old streams, including this one in the future. I think it's so silly to think how people thought Shieldred was when it first came up. There's this video. I don't know if you watch Card Market YouTube at all. The Card Market. Yeah, you should watch their YouTube anyway, because they make good videos. But they did a video, they've done several videos, where they ask Yu-Gi-Oh! Players to rank Magic cards, even though they don't know Magic. And one of those videos had the first card they showed the dude was Siege Rhino. And then, like, later in the video, they asked them about Shieldred. And to see the process, like... I watched it and I was like, wow, I think this person who knows nothing about Magic, like, kind of accidentally just like perfectly evaluated this card. They're like, wait, isn't this just like better than the Siege Rhino. But wait, like, it doesn't have a enter the battlefield trigger, so I guess it has to stick on the battlefield. But still, if it sticks on the battlefield, it just like does the Siege Rhino thing every turn. So isn't this card like insane? And they like came to that conclusion, even though they don't know Magic, in like a 30-second segment of a video when it took the Magic community, including me, like a few weeks to come to that conclusion. But replay YouTube, that's where you'd find all the old streams, including this one of the future normal YouTube. Tons of stuff coming up on there. Yesterday, hey, thank you for the raid, GDPTV. Hopefully you had a wonderful stream. Yesterday, we talked about the fastest bannings in the history of Magic. If they ban a Lord of the Rings card next week, would not be the fastest banning of all time. It would be tied for number 7 on our list. So yeah, check that video out if you haven't seen it. It's kind of interesting to see the history of the bannings. There's some good ones on there. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom, and if you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. Even get a free goldfish sticker. Just let them know you want one in your order notes, and they'll hook you up. So thank you to Card Kingdom for supporting the show. Otherwise, merch page, token, t-shirts, playmats, giveaways, support the stream and the channel and the site. Donations always appreciated, never required. $2 or more get your message read on stream. Wow. And those are the reminders. So what are we playing today? We are starting with the jankiest burn deck. You know what? We're gonna have the fourth wand for the meme. I don't know if it's ideal. What do we cut, chat? Do we play 61 card special? That's probably not good either. What should we cut from this deck? Karn the Great Creator needs to be banned. Bannings are on my list of topics for today. But let's play some Magic, and we'll talk about it as we go along. Cudawan. So I think we got to keep all the. Hey, thank you, Cat Fan. I think we got to keep all the wands. I don't think it's optimal, but you don't put Retributive Wand in your deck because you're trying to build an optimal deck. Like 61 card special to battle Flump. Actually, that is a good justification for running more cards. If you ever feel bad about running too many cards, just tell yourself it's because you might run into Flump. Any modern updates for the deck? Wait, for what deck? For this deck? Oh god. So if you're gonna play this deck in modern, you get Galvanic Blast, which is going to be worth it as a burn spell, often 1 mana 4 damage. So that would be a big addition to the deck. You also get some other artifact options. There's several cheap artifacts. Maybe there's something better than Implement, maybe like a Mishra's Bauble or something. But yeah, I think it would kind of mostly be the same. So what is the plan of this deck? So this deck is built around a couple of things. The main plan is burn spells that deal a ton of damage. So we have Shrapnel Blast, 5 damage for 2 mana, but you got a second artifact. Tribal Flames, 5 damage for 2 mana, but you got to play a bunch of Triomes to up your land types. Improvise Club, 4 damage for 2 mana, but you got a second creature artifact. So that's kind of the core of the deck. We're trying to just burn our opponent out in chunks of 5. We also have Retributive. Why do I have a hard time saying that word? Retributive Wand. Retributive Wand looks really bad. The key text here is when it goes to the graveyard from the battlefield, 5 damage to any target. What this means is we play this, we Shrapnel Blast it, 10 damage to our opponent's face. It is a huge chunk of damage. So burn, 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 burn. Huge chunks out of our opponent's life total. We got some cheap artifacts just for sacking, since we need a lot of artifacts to sack. And then, once we run out of burn, we just Snapcaster back our burn to hopefully finish the game, with Arcane Proxy actually being really sweet in this deck, because it's an artifact that we can sack to our Shrapnel Blast and our Improvised Club. So we can do the, cast an Arcane Proxy, flashback Shrapnel Blast, sack the Arcane Proxy to the Shrapnel Blast to deal 5 more damage. Otherwise, Expressive Iteration burns through our deck, Flame of Andor churns through our deck, just trying to make sure we find our burn spells. And that's essentially the entire plan of the deck. Shout out to Riptide Laboratory, just a one-up, but Riptide really sweet with Snapcaster if it gets going. You can just bounce a wizard to your hand every turn. So a good way to keep reusing our Arcane Proxy or Snapcaster Mage. Will this deck work? I don't know. Looking at this on paper, it looks really janky, but I feel like it could do some powerful things maybe. So we'll see. Let's give it a go. Hey, what's up, Zyber? How are you? Good to see you. I literally just finished my match with my Flump Brew, and auto-yielding to triggers gave me the same auto error as you. Luckily, it worked the second time when it auto-replayed the whole game. Really, I don't think I've ever had Moto work the second time after the replay. Yeah, Riptide's been on Arena for a while now, actually. This is gonna be too slow for Historic, you know that, right? I mean, where else are we gonna play it, though? What are our other options? It'll probably be too slow, but, like, Modern's not any slower. Hey, Seth, did you see the budget Cody deck I sent you? Oh, I don't. That does not sound familiar. Do you have a link? Ooh, all right. Well, we have a lot of artifacts we can sacrifice. Yoda Man, welcome to the fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription for the 60th month, 5-year resub. Big scoops here for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, go implements of combustion. Can we win with this deck? It's gonna be interesting. Could we play Jingatha up the sideboard, or does Arcane Proxy turn that off? Whew. I believe we could play Jingatha in our sideboard. I think. Oh, are we about to get Bowmastered already? Opponent, opponent, opponent. Opponent and the Bowmasters. Well, all right, play an implement. We need our wand to snipe the Bowmasters. Go ahead, Bowmaster deck. I haven't uploaded my... There's some Bowmasters. I haven't uploaded my Steal Your Stuff Historic Brawl deck in a while. What are some recent blue or black must-adds to a deck like that? Ooh, that's a good question. What are the what are the best blue-black Steal Your Stuff cards from recent sets? Siphon Insight's a good one. Siphon Insight lets you, like, think twice from your opponent's deck. So that's really good for blue-black Steal Your Stuff. That's the first one. Xanathar, that's another sweet one. Those are the first ones that come to mind. We're 1 week away from the BNR. Any predictions on upcoming bannings? So this week was the Modern Pro Tour. I'm very curious. Well, let me see you swing for 0. I'm very curious. What do you think of the Pro Tour? So actually, first question, did you watch the Pro Tour? maybe no one actually cares and no one actually watched it. Oh, I mean, Cody's definitely super fun. $100 budgets. I guess the upside of Cody on a budget is you get to play a lot of sweet spells, and a lot of them, like, are really powerful but not that expensive. Like Breach the Multiverse, only a couple bucks. All is dust. So you do get some really powerful stuff. That looks super fun. That looks like a super fun budget deck. I like it. More Tribal Flames. How do we do this? Do we have to... So opponents at 18. Green, blue, white, red, black. I mean, this Prosperous Innkeeper, though. So we can 5 our opponent's face, 5 our opponent's face, 5 our opponent's face. But they're going to gain life with the Innkeeper. That might still be our best play, though, just to keep throwing it at our opponent's face. Yeah, I mean, all right. We're going to go for it. Boom. Down to 13. Past the turn. Down to 13. Can we outrace a Prosperous Innkeeper? 4-mana card needs to be banned in a few... Yes, every format, please. Karn. Oh, Karn. Hey, what's up, Golkuri? Good to have you. Enjoy your vacation. The One Ring is boring. Yeah, so Modern is in such a weird place. Like, my perception from watching the Pro Tour this weekend, yeah, commentary was great. Coverage was great. It's improved so much. So huge shout out to everyone that did coverage, Wizards for improving coverage. That was one of the biggest positives. The actual gameplay, it's so hit or miss. Like, I think the finals was the best example of that. Like, if you watch the finals, the very last match of the Pro Tour, Game 4 of the finals was one of the most entertaining games of Magic I'd watched in a while. It was so entertaining, so close and interesting. And then Game 5 was one of the least interesting game of Magic I've watched in a while. It was just like double scam you with Grief into cast a Blood Moon. You don't cast any spells this game. And I kind of felt like that through the entire weekend. That, like, it's either these really close, interesting games that are really fun to watch, or it's like essentially every deck is a scam deck. Every deck has to have a scam kill where you just do this big thing that your opponent can't really stop or doesn't stop, and you run away with the game on turn 3. Like, that's my current perception of Modern. Like, you can do pretty much anything you want as long as you have some sort of like scam kill nut draw that can win on turn 3 or turn 4. As long as you can do that, you can do a whole bunch of things in Modern. How do you fix scam? I mean, I don't know if they're even necessarily combo decks. Like, all right, Arcane Proxy. I wouldn't even say necessarily combo decks. Like, is Crashing Footfalls a combo deck? I don't know if I'd even consider Crashing Footfalls a combo deck. It's just a deck that does something powerful on turn 3. You're putting a bunch of rhinos into play. Or like, Tron. Is Tron a combo deck? I guess you can make arguments for it, but still, like, yeah. So you just, oh god. All right, so opponent is actually literally infinite here. We'll let them do a minute of the combo, but Hapatra, Young Wolf, Yawgmoth. This is the arena version of Yawg combo. So you sack the Young Wolf, comes into play with the counter. But then you can use Hapatra to get rid of the counter. And then you just keep going forever. Yeah, we're dead. Hey, Seth. Nothing needs to be banned. Does nothing need to be banned? I'm curious. What do you think, chat? Does anything need to be banned in Modern? What do you think about the One Ring? So the One Ring was 45% of the meta. Bowmasters was 38%, 40%. Like, we look at the numbers. We have the data. We can see the actual numbers here. Looking at the Pro Tour, One Ring, 45% of decks. Bowmaster, 40% of decks. Fury, 47. Chalice of the Void, 68. Although that's a couple of copies in the sideboard rather than a main deck type thing. Also of note, someone pointed this out on Reddit, and it was a good observation. Every single one of the most played creatures printed since Modern Horizons. Bowmasters printed this year. Modern Horizons 2, 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 Lord of the Rings, Modern Horizons 2, Modern Horizons 1, Modern Horizons 2. Every single one. All of them. So what do you think about the One Ring? Should the One Ring be banned or Bowmasters be banned? Honestly, boy, so much of the issue is I don't know how they're going to handle bannings going forward. That is a huge part of the issue I have. Like, if I knew that they would have the ability to ban the One Ring or Bowmasters or something like 3 months from now or 6 months from now, I would probably be in the, like, go ahead and wait camp. Like, if they have that option. Oh, we went with the 61 card special, didn't we? If they have that option, that's fine. Didn't Shardless Agent come out in Commander decks? Shardless Agent came out in, not Conspiracy, Plane Shift. It was printed in a Plane Shift deck, but it came to Modern in the last Modern Horizons. It was never Modern legal until the last Modern Horizons. But yeah, it was originally from a Plane Chase, that's what it is. Plane Chase deck. Yeah, we'll play first. Well, we got a bunch of play with fires, so I guess we're not gonna lose to a Bowmasters. Hey, what's up, Reindeering? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see ya. So should the One Ring be banned? Or Bowmasters? I feel like Wizards is going to be hesitant to do it. The fact that they're going to, as much as I hate this argument, the fact that there's a holiday release of the Lord of the Rings set, it makes me skeptical they would ban it. If they think it's a problem, and I don't know if they can solve it this way, but if they're worried about the One Ring, maybe they do ban something like Karn, which I would not complain about, but like, that only hits one ring deck. I don't even know if that's a positive. Like, if you ban something that only Tron is using, or primarily Tron is using to get the One Ring, that still means Amulet Titan has the One Ring. It still means Omnath has the One Ring. It still means control decks have the One Ring. So it doesn't actually solve the problem. I'd ban the Scam Elementals first. I do wonder, like, is Scam a good play pattern to have at the top of Modern? You know me, I love janking people out of a game of Magic. There is nothing I love more in all of Magic than sticking a fast Blood Moon and watching my opponent do nothing. It's literally my favorite thing to do in Magic. I love stuff like that. At the same time, I don't know if I want a deck like that to be the best deck in a format. That's kind of my concern, I think, with Scam. Like, I love that style of deck. I'm just not sure we want those decks to be like tier 1 winning Pro Tour decks. I think they're much better as like tier 2, tier 3. I play them on against the odds and like win, 40% of the time style decks. Unbannings might be the most interesting possibility, honestly. Like, there's a lot of things that could potentially be unbanned. Maybe that, like, there's so many things. If you're gonna have the One Ring and Grief and Fury and Orcish Bowmasters and all those cards in the format, a lot of the Modern Man looks pretty quaint. So maybe they're just like, maybe they finally do free Twin. Maybe they finally do free Birthing Pod. Maybe we do see some of these powerful iconic cards come back. Hurts to pay 600 reposts, but really want to share my upgrade from Rust Goliath. Ooh, let me see. So many Prosperous Innkeepers. I feel like we have to keep killing Innkeepers because they gain life. Actually, maybe we don't. Let's just play Implement. Let's play Implement Pass. Our opponent's only got 3 cards in hand. Hopefully they're about done casting creatures. No, not Hogak. No. I think that's creating another problem. Miracle Entity, eh? Ooh. Oh, Thunderous Raz is so fun when it actually works. I mean, that looks super spicy. How's the deck been working for you? I do love the idea of just copying a bunch of Thunderous Raz. Kind of a very unique take on is it control for sure. Opponent has the Yogg. Sure. Goes back up to 20. And how is our opponent at 20 and we're the burn deck? That feels pretty bad. I don't think we want Hogak. We don't want Hogak in Modern. No. I'm pretty sure if you want Hogak in Modern, you've never played against Hogak. My God, was that miserable. Like, yes, Hogak is... Hey, what's up, Trontor? How are you? Good to see ya. Yes, Hogak is defeatable by Graveyard Hate, but we saw last time, like, even in a world where everyone's playing Leyline to the Void in the main deck, it's still the best deck in the format. All right, well, we have slogged our way through Yogg number 1. Our opponent drew a card. Well, play the Artifact Land. I really don't want to throw 5 damage at Prosperous Innkeeper. All right, we will pass the turn. This Innkeeper's so annoying. This life gain is just making our job way harder. Gotta say, you're one of my, you have one of the best voices, commentary among all the MTG content producers. Well, I love Febreze. Thank you so much. I don't know if that's a popular opinion, though. Honestly, if you look at, like, YouTube and the comments, the thing people complain about the most is my voice, I think. That is, like, Magic stuff. If I punt, like, by all means, like, I deserve to be yelled at for that. But there are a lot of people just do not like the way I sound. Opponent. Another Yawgmoth. Well, okay. Oh, jeez. How do you keep drawing these Yoggs, opponent? How? And they're not even losing life. Like, after all of this, they're not even losing life because of these silly Prosperous Innkeepers. Sacks a halfling, draws a card. I want to build a Volo EDH deck. I don't know if the blue-green version or the background version is better. What do you think? I'm gonna have to read the background version. I've never played with the background version. What does the background version of Volo do? When it enters the battlefield, create its journal, legendary colorless artifact with hexproof, and whenever you cast a creature spell, not one of its types that hasn't been known on the artifact. Pay to tap it, draw a card for each creature type. Noted for target permanent. You control name Volo's journal. Power level wise, I think this is probably stronger. I think it's probably stronger. I think its ability is better, and you also get to choose what your second color is, thanks to background. I mean, I guess the easy thing to do is play Volo Itinerant Scholars, your commander, with a green background, and then you play the other Volo in the main deck. I have played the other Volo. My experience with Volo Guide to Monsters is people kill it a lot. That's been my issue with it. I love Panharmonicon effects, and it is a card that, like, if you can get it to stay on the battlefield, you can, like, get a lot of value out of it. But it definitely has this, it has a target on its back, and your opponents are going to try to take it out. And because you kind of like build around Volo a little bit, where you're trying to play all these unique creature types to power it up, if your opponents just keep killing it, your deck sometimes is a little bit sad. So that's been my experience with Volo Guide to Monsters. Well, let's expressive iteration, I guess. Draw some cards. Expressive iteration hand. Burn spell library, land exiled. I really don't want to spend a Tribal Flames on a Prosperous Innkeeper. That feels so bad. Okay, Brooksy, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoop, thank you, thank you. My wife hates Magic, but became your biggest fan when she heard how you got adopted by CC. Oh, well, tell her thank you. Yeah, CC definitely has spiced things up around here, that's for sure. She thinks she is the ruler of the house, and she probably is, honestly. Oh, cats. It's so... They're now... I think I mentioned before that, like, Bear gets really jealous over CC getting food. So he always, like, he wants all of her food. Whenever I try to feed CC, he'll like climb up on the table and like just take the food and eat it. So any food he wants it to be his. So now I feed her wet food that she loves when Bear's not around. But now they do this thing where Cece is comfortable enough around here that she gets jealous when Bear gets treats. So now if I give Bear a treat, she'll come over and like meow and start clawing me. So I got this package of cat treats to give to Cece, and she is very persistent about wanting all the treats. She does not have an off button. The first time I got them, I gave her a few of them and she loved them, and I put the thing up on a shelf, and I went in the room and I came back and there's Cece climbed up on the shelf and had just her whole face down in the in the treat bucket, just chowing them down. How do we deal with the One Ring? Well, expressive iteration hand. Implement library. Tribal Flames exiled. Play this bar as headquarters. Boom. Oh my god, we can't even burn their face. All right, we got to get rid of this Innkeeper then. One of the reasons to play this deck is, in theory, the One Ring is going to help us. It's going to help us damage our opponents. Unfortunately, our opponent's still at 20, and they're going to draw a ton of cards. How are they at 20? Look at this graveyard full of... That's not great. That's not great. That's a Shieldred. Shieldred. Yes. Sure. Well, so far so bad. Do we have enough land types? Yes. Alright, kill Shieldred. Opponent's at 24 though against our burn deck. So, Flame of Vanderhand. Brothershood and Library, Tribal Flames. Boom. Boom. Throw it at your face. Down to 19. We have our opponent under their starting life total. We have done it. Success. Success. You know they're going to find another Shieldred, though. I mean, I guess our opponents also. They do double Innkeeper, double Yogg. Or Kishbo Masters. The One Ring. Down to 16. Somehow we need to deal... boy. We need 3 Shrapnel Blast effects this turn. I don't think we can do it. We don't have enough artifacts, or enough cards, or enough anything. So, what do you think? So we've talked a little bit about, yeah, we would like to kill them with the ring. Unfortunately, the cards they're drawing with the ring might be killing us, which is normally how the ring works. Most often, especially if you're playing Shieldrids with it, most often the One Ring cards outpace the One Ring damage. What do you think about Standard? We haven't talked about Standard. Should we have Standard bannings? I think if you look at Standard, Shieldred's got to go, right? Like, do we really want another year of Shieldred? Yeah, I gotta get switch over to the untap overlay now that the other one is not working anymore. Opponent. I mean, that's the power of the ring. Like, Yogg number 3. I guess also the power of luck. Yeah. Expressive iteration. Well, there's all of our Snapcasters. The problem is we have to... Oh, we just can't live long enough, can we? Snapcaster Tribal Flame. Flame of Andor. Do we just pass? I guess we pass. All right, let's pass. Opponent. I mean, they are losing life. Court of Calling X2. To get Hapatra to try to go infinite. Okay, so 1, 2. I think we have to Snapcaster. Snapcaster, play with Flare the Bowmasters. And then Flame of Andor the Yogg and draw cards. I think this has got to be our best bet. Yeah, we got to kill the Yogg. So kill the Bowmasters. Get rid of that problem. Opponent can sack it to draw cards and kill the Snapcaster. And then Flame of Andor. Draw and kill. Get rid of the Yogg. I mean, we are trying. We are fighting and clawing. The One Ring just draws so many cards. Hey, what's up, dude, bro, man, guy? I watched your Swords and Artifact video yesterday, and then listened to your interview on Humans of Magic. Happy to be here. Like you, I think way too often about Magic. I know the feeling. Welcome to the stream. Okay, good to have you. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do Humans of Magic again in the future. Hey, welcome, Bubba Matt. I'm glad you... What do you think of the Swords and Artifact video? It'd been a minute since we played any Standard, but always good to have some budget Standard options. Well, I mean, opponent is down to 12. The problem is they're drawing so many cards. They're drawing so many cards, they're going to find Shieldred, right? And once they find Shieldred, they just gain so much life. Maybe we need a players can't gain life card. Maybe that's worth it. Maybe we need life gain hate. All right, they might also just combo. We're through 3 Yoggs, but you know they have 4 in the deck, and the One Ring draws so many cards. Are you infinite? Prosperous Innkeeper again. Number 3. Innkeepers. Opponent. Lanamore Waste. Oh, don't we have 10 points of burn in hand? Yes. The problem is not dealing 10 points. It's... I mean, it's that our opponent draws so many cards, they just... I mean, that's a one ring win, really, right? When it comes down to it, like, the power of drawing 10 extra cards is you're going to draw all 4 of your Yogs. And then, like, what do you do? What do you do? Didn't opponent not actually have the win yet? I mean, they had a Patra, Young Wolf, Prosperous Innkeeper, and that's infinite, right? Don't they just go infinite there? I've heard that deck is over 70% of the meta. Why would anyone bother with such a format? Wait, what deck and what format are we talking about? Hey, what's up, Farrak? How are you? Good to see you, good to see you. Yeah, I mean, if they have the infinite combo, I think they win. I think that's the... Ooh, we got the wand. I think that's the long and short of it. Like, if they have the infinite combo, they're going to win. Our wand. No. No. Who plays Dreams of Oil and Steel? Oh, no. What are the chances? What are the chances? What are the chances? Oh, I don't think Yog is. Oh, we drew another one. I don't think Yog is 70% of the meta. I don't even think Yog is the most played deck in the meta. Yog might be... I think Yog is like a tier 2, tier 3 deck, maybe. Yeah, but can't you just thought seize the ring? Like, why thought seize that doesn't actually and duress? Maybe our opponent just doesn't have the wild cards for thought seize, and they're piecing it together with the not seizes. Wow, they really are not going to let us resolve one of our wands, are they? Opponent, Mirrex. Holy discard. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Wow, 3 1-mana discard spells. What is going on over there? Well, boom. How do you like our implemented combustion, opponent? That's a damage at your face. Opponent plays Llanowar Waste. Yeah, but there's no racks on Arena for some reason. What exists and doesn't exist on Arena is so random. Liliana the Last Hope, A. Okay. Opponent takes it up. Oh, we need a couple more land types. I really don't want to... I don't want to Tribal Flames for 3. Yeah, let's do this. Let's sack it, draw a card. Play the land. Boy, opponent's at 14, 9. Ooh, 14. Wait, why did it not give us priority in response to the One Ring? That's weird. Shouldn't we have gotten priority there? I feel like we should have. Well, play Chromatic Star. Play the land. Pass the turn. I mean, I think we can punish them for 1 ringing. Unless they find Sheoldred, but opponent's going to draw. They're going to go to 11. We can blast him to 6. About it. Would you like a Shrapnel Blast to the face? Plays a land. And I don't know if our opponent knows how close to dead they are. Takes down and whiffs. Okay. Draws with them. Oh, they're dead. Oh, they're going to be dead. Opponent draws 2. Oh, I think we got him. The power of the Shrapnel Blast. Oh, we didn't have red. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. About it. Passing. Blast your face. A little blast down to 6. We could use a red source. If we get one more red source, we should win right away with these tribal flames. That's a red source. Opponent. Down to 6. Oh, we can do the trick. We can do the trick. We can do our trick. 1, 2, 3. So Arcane Proxy. Yes, our combo. Play Arcane Proxy. This is the reason we built the deck. It's happening. It's happening against the One Ring of all things. Arcane Proxy resolves. Shrapnel Blast. Yes, we would like to cast it. Opponent's going to play a Bowmasters. I mean, this is still fine. This is still fine. Sure, they do kill our proxy, but we have an artifact land, so this is fine. They snipe the proxy, sure. Shrapnel Blast. Shrapnel Blast with the One Ring actually kind of sounds good too. Blast ya? Blast ya? Down to 1? Or should we pass and let them die to the One Ring? Yo on Leaf! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big Scoop Jeffrey, thank you. I mean, killing the proxy is annoying, but we have the artifact land, so it doesn't really matter there. Does Historic have fetches? It doesn't. It probably should, but I don't know. I kind of want fetches on Arena. I feel like if you're an all-in aggro deck, your deck wants the ring. It's unfortunate, but maybe a necessary evil. Yeah, I mean, and we got the synergies. Like, honestly, would our deck be better if we replaced Wand with One Ring? Maybe. We're not going to do that, but it might actually be. I don't like that feeling, though. I don't like the feeling. It reminds me of Standard a few months ago with Fable. I think we actually talked about this during some videos. The feeling of, like, I don't want to put Fable in my deck. I'm sick of Fable, but I gotta play Fable because my opponents are playing Fable. So if I don't play Fable, I'm gonna lose to the value my opponent's Fable is generating. I feel like the One Ring is like kind of the same way, where it's like I don't necessarily want to play it, but because everyone else is playing it, I kind of need to keep up because it's so strong. The Majosh Harris. The man Josh Harris. Wait, the man Josh Harris, is that the owner of the 76ers? Isn't it? Isn't that Josh Harris? And now also the Washington football team? Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank ya. Yeah, maybe we could play the land. The land cycler actually seems pretty good. Yeah, maybe we had Lauren's revealed to this deck. That actually seems like it'd be worth it. Like, Lauren's revealed, we might just run it back. Come back some lands, play Lauren reveal, and cycle up our triomes. Wait, no. That's you? You're the owner of this. Well, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, Josh Harris. I don't know about some of those trades, though. Seriously. That Jimmy Butler thing. What were y'all thinking? What if people actually started playing Solemnity to counter the Ring and Bowmasters since they're so hyped? So it doesn't really stop Bowmasters, right? I mean, I guess it stops it from growing the creature, although that's not really much of the power of Bowmasters. It's part of it, but it does seem good against the One Ring. I had someone play New Vorinclex against me, and I was playing a One Ring deck, and it actually just shuts it down. Like, you can't actually tap the ring to generate value because it won't get any counters. So maybe this opponent really loves their discard spells. They really love their discard spells. At least these discard spells are damaging our opponent. And they didn't take our wand, which, look out. If we get to throw this at our opponent's face, that's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage. Well, okay. Spar Headquarters, go. I'm still not sure what our opponent's doing other than playing literally every discard spell in existence. They are playing them all. Well, okay. The time has come. The time has come, the wand is here. 3 mana for 1 damage on would you like to kill it, opponent? I guess if they exile it, it doesn't do anything. About it. Yeah, we might try white black tokens later. How are you, Seth? Did you enjoy the Barcelona stream and previews? I did. Well, there goes our arcane proxy. Discard spell number 45. Whoa! And Meyer White. What is happening? Oh, jeez. All right, there goes our wand to the haywire mite. Oh, we really need to beat this person just to punish them for the start. About it. What Thoughtseize do you have this time? A Murderous Rider. That's not a Thoughtseize. I didn't know you were allowed to play non-Thoughtseizes. All right, Flame of Andor. Draw a couple cards. Untap. Ha! That's more wands. But first, we will Snapcaster our Flame of Andor. Draw cards. Boom. Out of your Murderous Rider. So good. We have undone. Oh my god, we drew the combo. Oh, we have it. We have the wand and the Shrapnel Blast. Oh, that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. Please don't Thoughtseize us, opponent. Don't Thoughtseize us. Don't Thoughtseize us. About it. The One Ring. Okay. That's actually okay. That's actually okay. Because we're gonna play a wand. The combo is coming together. The combo is coming together. It's all coming together. We can't attack because of protection. We have 10 damage at instant speed after this protection wears off. Our opponent is almost dead. They're almost dead to the wand. They're almost dead to the retributive wand. All right, opponent. You have your artifact, but we have ours. Whose is better? Whose is better? One Ring or wand? Maybe we're just playing the better artifact. Sheoldred. That's annoying. Huh, now we gotta think. Does this mean we have to kill Sheoldred? So you go to 15. Yeah, when Wand gets sacked, it deals 5 to anything. Or when he goes to the graveyard. So I think we have to. Alright, so we will Shrapnel Blast the Sheoldred, sack the wand. The wand will 5 our opponent. And then this Tribal Flame should close it out, right? Tribal Flame you? And, Tuya? The wand! The wand! Better than the One Ring in Sheoldred. We did it. Isn't wand Tribal Flame Shrapnel? Yeah, I guess we could have done it that way too. I guess no matter what way we did it, I guess it was gonna work there. Okay, so the deck can work. We can actually win. Oh, chat, I have a. We have some other Magic stuff. We still got bannings to talk about. We talked a little bit about the Pro Tour. A big piece of, I think this came out since our last stream. Yeah, if you ever want the deck list, !deck. So one of the big pieces of news that came out, and I need your opinions on this because this is such a hot button topic. So they did the spoiler stream for Wilds of Eldraine. They showed off Ashiok, a pretty unique planeswalker. Like, it's got the wild static ability where if you pay life, you can set exile cards. But the big takeaway was Wizards during the stream. They said that moving forward, their plan is to only print one planeswalker per set. One planeswalker, I think they mentioned it here on Twitter as well. Mark and Gavin discussed the R&D philosophy for planeswalkers going forward, and Mark confirms that the general intent is that there will be one planeswalker per set. Good? Bad? Somewhere in between? What do you think of one planeswalker per set? Is that so? Planeswalkers are interesting, Some people love them, some people hate them, some people think they ruin the game, some people think they save the game. There's a lot of different opinions about Planeswalkers. I will say I feel like we've maybe had too many Planeswalkers recently. Wizards goes too far. They'll do so, like, we see this with like Planeswalkers, legendary creatures. They're like, oh, we're not doing enough of these, we need to do more, and then they go way too far in the do more direction and then eventually pull it back into the middle. So I will say I do feel like we probably had too many Planeswalkers recently, like 4 or 5 a set. Every storyline is about them. War of the Spark with 40 Planeswalkers. Like, I think they kind of push it to the max. So pulling it back makes sense to me. One is that's a big change. What do you think of this? Is this tinfoil hat conspiracy stuff, or do you think this is what's going on? What if I said the reason for this change has nothing to do with standard or Planeswalkers or power level, but the reason for the change is Planeswalkers kind of suck in Commander, and Wizards does not want to waste 3 or 4 mythic slots each set on cards that Commander players don't care about. Do you think that is the actual reason for this? It sounds a little tinfoil hatty, but I actually think that could be kind of the truth. That, like, Planeswalkers are really bad in Commander. And why are we wasting all these sweet mythic sets where we could be printing, like, White Craterhoof Behemoths on Planeswalkers that Commander players don't care about? I think so. I wouldn't say that I think that's the entire reason, but I do think that could be part of the reason. Like, I think the fact that Planeswalkers are generally considered bad in Commander probably plays into it. Could definitely be part of it, or they're trying to phase out Planeswalkers. What do you think of the 1 a set number? Is 1 a set the right number? Like, I do agree that I said this before, I think there were too many. I think the amount we were getting was probably too many. I don't know if 1 a set's the right number, 2 a set. It's definitely going to be how's this Yaga again? It's definitely going to be a big change for 60 card formats. I think that's where we're going to see the biggest impact in 60 card formats. All right, I think we're going to kill this thing. In 60 card formats, that's a really big drop in one of the most powerful card types. I think 1 a set is too low, but I would rather have it be too low for a while, because right now it's been too high for a while. Yeah, I mean, I guess that also makes sense. And all this stuff is subject to change. Just because what Wizards is thinking now is 1 a set, that doesn't mean 6 months from now, or a year from now, or 2 years from now, or whatever time frame they don't change their mind and decide, well, actually that was a little too strict. Like, maybe we actually need a few more. The other interesting news about the future is someone asked Mark Rosewater about the amount of legends we're getting, and no Shieldreds. Yeah, okay, that's technically not a Shieldred. Technically not. Do we have to kill this Innkeeper? I really don't want to. Someone asked Mark about the number of legends we're getting. And he mentioned that they've been having conversations about decreasing the number of legends in Magic theme sets, but that Universes Beyond sets would always be super legendary heavy because of how they work and the number of characters. Seth, your tinfoil hat takes about MTG are not tinfoil hat at all, especially the absurdly high amount of landfill that happens on Arenaverse paper. The frequency which happens on Arena is beyond suspicious. I'm convinced that it's literally coded that way on purpose. Ooh, so CatCam fan, why though? So let's say, I don't agree that there's a conspiracy about lands on Arena, even though I do know, I can understand why someone would feel that way for sure. My question is why? Like, what would Wizards gain by making people flood more on Arena and people being like upset about and feeling bad about playing the game. Like, that's the part that I've never been able to figure out with the tinfoil hat conspiracy theories, the shuffler truther conspiracy theories. Like, what does Wizards gain from that? Like, what is the benefit that they get? That's the part that confuses me. Oh, it's just accidental? Oh, well, okay. If your theory is that it's just bad programming, bad code, okay, that's actually a reasonable explanation. If your argument is Wizards is bad at programming and digital stuff, I cannot really like disagree with that as someone who's played Moto for many years and like lived through the arena launch and version 3 of Moto and everything. So okay, that could be true. Maybe it's just a mistake. Although, wouldn't you think if it was a mistake they would have fixed it by now? I mean, I guess it would have to be like a mistake and them think it's a conspiracy theory, so they don't actually bother to go back and like really look into it, because I think it's just like people yelling and complaining for no reason. The motive of capitalism, it gets players turning through the games faster into the next game and therefore spending more gems. They lose money the longer people spend in a single game. I mean, I guess in limited that might be true, right? If you're just playing the ladder, I don't think it wouldn't make a difference, I don't think. We can't let 2 innkeepers live, unfortunately. As much as we want to be throwing this damage at our opponent's face, like 2 innkeepers. What is it with all these innkeeper decks? Okay, we gotta add life gain hate to this deck. We gots to. I would love a lore redo. No, not again. Not again. Opponent. Gonna get Sheoldred. Gonna gain a bunch of life. We're gonna get drained. Oh, we drew the one, but we don't have a way to do anything with it. Steam vents. Fair enough, Sheoldred. Man, maybe this deck is 70% of the meta. Whoever said that earlier, maybe they were correct. To reduce free-to-play players and increase pay-to-win players in that kind of theory. It's not hard to figure out through crowdsourcing. If MMOs can figure out complicated drop rate percentages, MTG players should be able to empirically determine probability of mana flu, mana scrud. I mean, there's been people who have... I think there's been research in it. The problem is, whenever there's been people who have like actually done in-depth research on the Arena Shuffler, I think most of it has come out that it's correct. Like, I'm pretty sure that that's what's happened. The challenge is like, so what happens if someone researches it and the data says no, it's actually right? Will people even believe it? You see that with flat earthers. I watched this documentary about flat earthers, and it's definitely wild to see the cognitive dissonance and just like how no matter how you're proven wrong, you just go on to the next thing. And you go on to the next thing and figure out a way to justify how you weren't actually proven wrong. And you go on to the next thing and it keeps going and it keeps going. And you just, at some point, like, I don't know. At some point, you just gotta be able to be like, okay, maybe I was wrong. But us humans are very bad at that. It's very hard for us because of how our brains are wired to actually just be like, oh, we're wrong. Because our brain doesn't want to think that about ourselves. We want to think we're smart and like capable and that we wouldn't be wrong about something like that. But that leads to problems in the long run. You would need access to the back end. Oh, you need to actually like see the code. Yeah, I don't know if that's likely. I'm not sure Wizards will give us access to the actual code. Oh, I keep forgetting we're playing the 61 card special. That means, yeah, probably Play with Fire is actually pretty good. Let's try that. This matchup seems really bad. Speak for yourself, I'm an idiot. Hey, me too. Twins. Except the MTG is code open and now and available to research by an outside party. No, I don't think so. I've seen people do if you look around on the internet and like Reddit and stuff, you'll find people who, because there's like arena trackers and stuff, you'll find people who have like tracked huge subsets of games. As far as I'm aware, I don't think any of it involves the actual code though. I've never seen actual, like, we got the code and checked it or whatever. I mean, maybe. So I will say, I 100% don't believe. I 100% don't believe there is a intentional conspiracy. An intentional conspiracy to get people mana screwed and mana flooded. I've seen some like pretty far out, like Wizards is trying to like control my win rate or something. Like I win too much and then I get mana flooded or mana screwed. 100% don't believe that. Is it possible there's a bug that no one's realized? I would say that's theoretically possible. I don't think I would say that's likely, but I could see that being possible. Boy, so opponent missed their land drop. They probably have Bowmasters. What do we do now? We need some artifacts. Could use some artifacts. So if we expressive iteration, 1, 2, yeah, let's iteration. Flame in hand. Brothers to end back. Exile Spire Bluff. Play Spire Bluff. All right, opponent. Show us your Bowmaster. Show us your Bowmaster. Well, as long as we don't get Thoughtseize, this Brotherhood End should help. About it. Conspiracies are weird. What a world we live in. How are we gonna cast this new white Crater Hoof? 8 mana seems hard in white. Is it just gonna be a Reanimator thing? So I think the white Crater Hoof, I would be surprised if it saw much 60 card play. I think new white Crater Hoof can be very good in Commander. In Commander, getting to 8 mana with any deck is pretty reasonable with mana rocks and other forms of ramp. So 8 mana, not a big deal for most Commander decks. I think in 60 card formats, it's not a very good Reanimator target, right? Like, most Reanimator decks don't have that many creatures, and if you don't have many creatures, that card really doesn't do much of anything. All right, let's 3 damage to each creature in Planeswalker. Out of here, dorks. Young Wolf comes back for now. I mean, we technically have a lot of burn in hand. We can deal with a Shieldred. Opponent, even more Bowmastin. Yup. Good thing we have a Retributive Wand. So many Prosperous Innkeepers. Opponent gets in for a bunch. They're at 23. Is there a way we can do this? How many points of burn? So this is 5, 10, 15, 20. If we get an artifact 24, can we live long enough to make it happen? Oh, play the wand. We're short an artifact for sacking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, this is going to be really close. Opponent untaps. Draws a land. Goes to combat. Is there any way we can just win next turn? I see 20 points of damage, but we don't have the artifact. Lord Kinbot, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. We have to take 1 to do this? Yeah, Flame of Andor, though, doesn't hit our opponent's face. We drop to 5. There's a 1 ring. That actually might be good for us. Fiery Islet. All right, play the land. We also have to not die, though, which is the concern with these pain lands. Wow, this is ridiculously close. Ridiculously close. I wish you had 1 more artifact. 1, 2. All right, pass the... Are we going to have to kill the young wolf? That feels bad. Pass the turn. Put it down to 21. These pain lands are constricting our mana. Opponent draws with the 1 ring. So they're taking 2 on their turn. Opponent plays a Blood Artist. One, 2, 3. So we Flame of Andor. Kill the young wolf. I think we can do it. I think we can just do it. Opponent gets and hits us. Down to 3. Shrapnel Blast. Sack the wand. Hit you for 10. It's a combo. Down to 11. We untap. Tribal Flames you. Tribal Flames you. No! It doesn't work! Wait, we're missing a land type? What land type are we missing? Oh, we don't have green! Oh! Okay. That's we can salvage this. We just need to draw a Play with Fire. We did not. Oh, I thought we had full domain. Well, I guess I guess it was a punt because we didn't win, but there was, so it's a punt. It is a punt because I thought we were going to win and we didn't. However, I don't think we could have done anything differently anyway, if that made sense. You needed to draw, well, we couldn't draw with Andor though because of the Bowmaster. Oh, I'm glad. I'm actually glad we didn't draw the forest. Oh, that was the other thing that came out. I don't know if maybe you're talking about this in chat as I was punting. Did you see I don't know what's, so explain this to me, chat, because you probably know more about this than I do. So they posted the patch notes for the last update on Arena that added the new anthologies. However, the card lists don't match what they actually released. If you actually read this card list, it says Boros Charm was being added, but actually ended up being Gruul Charm. Historic anthologies said Miscalculation was being added, but it wasn't actually added. Instead, we got Repeal, I think. And there was also one other Glade Cover Scout got changed to Eidolon of Blossoms. How does this happen? How does this actually happen? Where do I get most of my Magic news? I guess between Twitter, so between mothership stuff, like WotC sites, Magic.gg, Daily MTG, between that and also Reddit and also social media. But when you like, there was a miscalculation indeed. But when you, I don't know, when you change the patch notes, that's the part that gets me. Like, changing the cards, people did complain, like, where's the Boros charm? I think I complained, where's the Boros charm? So people did complain. The part that I don't understand, though, is like, why wouldn't you update it? Why wouldn't you once you decided to cut the Boros charm and replace it with the Gruul charm, why wouldn't you update your patch notes? Like, go into the dock and just change it. It's like 5 characters. That's a very easy change. Even if you're bad at typing, like, that's only 5 letters. Very easy to change Boros to Gruul there. Yeah, that's the part that gets me, is like, wow, like, okay, changing the cards, I get it. Maybe you decided Boros term's too overpowered in the current meta. Maybe you decided you didn't want to add a 1-mana hexproof creature because it's super obnoxious. That's fine. Maybe miscalculation. Maybe that's too good. You added memory lapse and ended up having to get banned. Maybe you decided at the last minute it was too good, but change the patch notes to keep people from realizing. You're just playing right into all the haters and the conspiracy theories. All right, we'll pass the turd. The guy who writes the patch notes are not the only one who makes the decisions for what goes in Anthology, so it's a communication issue. But I mean, like, the patch notes go up after the patch. Yes, I would agree it's a communication issue. The patch notes, though, went up, like, several days after the... Ooh, opponent is helping us kill them, which is good for us. The patch notes, though, go up several days after the actual update. So it seems like in those several days, they could have maybe figured out that they should change the patch notes. So we don't have a way to sack Wand yet. Let's go Wand in hand. Flames of Andor to the library. Land exiled. Play the land past the turn. So opponent's playing Mono Black Devotion. Underworld Dreams. Sure. Gonna have to watch out for Sheoldred. That's probably what we're most scared of here. Another flame. Well, get drained. Run out the wand. Actually, play the land, run out the wand. Pass the turd. Okay. The wand is down. Alright, there's a Sheoldred. Hooray. Well, yeah, we definitely have to kill that. Kill the Sheoldred. Draw a... Okay, Improvised Club is good. That is a good one. Pass the turn. The damage is starting to add up, and we got the Arcane Proxy to flash stuff back. We need one more. We need a Shrapnel Blast. Oh, opponent, chill. Chill, opponent, chill. Well, let's Improvise Club. Sack the... Actually, wait. This probably makes the most sense. Sheoldred resolves. Actually, does this make the most sense? Yeah, okay. Improvise Club your face. Sack the wand. Kill the Sheoldred. Maybe wand is actually kind of good. It's been doing what we were hoping, at least. We get drained. Yeah, let's pass the turn. Opponent. Are we done with the Sheoldreds finally? Nykthos not making mana yet. Liliana to get back Sheoldred. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. That's a Sheoldred in 2 turns. That's a future problem. So opponent gets back the troll. Okay, wants to do some swamp cycling. Proxy is a wizard. It is a wizard. Well, let's draw 2 cards. There's a Tribal Flames. Get drained, get drained. Sack an Islet, draw a card. Get drained. Kill the Liliana. Ouch. Draw a card. Get drained.
This was boring anyway.
Yeah, get pinged. Play the Chromatic Star. We really need, you know what, we gotta update this deck. We gotta add the land cycler to get the triomes. I think that's the biggest thing we're missing. The land cycler for the triomes would be super good here. We haven't played a land, so I think let's Snapcaster. What's our opponent at? 14? All right, let's do it this way. Club ya. Down to 10. Oh, that's a big draw. That is a big draw. That adds 2 more land types. Oh, we're so close. We're so close. Opponent. I think we have lethal. Opponent, Liliana. Okay, that doesn't stop us. It does help with Nykthos, but it doesn't stop us. Opponent. Are we getting him? I think we're getting him. Opponent gonna take down Killer Snapcaster. That's okay. Because this is 4-8. Oh! Wow. Oh. We had it too. Boy, what is it with all the life gain? Wow, double Sheoldred, we actually got through it. Well, maybe Retributive Wand is as janky as it thinks. Do you have any more Arena Zoomer lessons planned? They kind of come up. Oh, we're gonna have it there too. They kind of come up randomly as new cards are added to Arena. So I feel like it's one of those topics where I could do it way more often probably, but it would have to include weaker topics. So far I have only tried to do the teaching Arena Zoomer thing when it's something I'm like really excited about. Because you could do like, oh, teaching Arena Zoomer is about Stone Rain or something. But I don't know. I've been trying to use it sparingly and have it be topics that I think really fit and are perfect for that sub-series. So I don't have another one yet, but there definitely will be more because I enjoy them and everyone else seems to enjoy them. So it's just a matter of the right cards coming along. Does the new Ashiok make the Exile Tutor from Innistrad good? So the problem is, like, you need to... Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. If they ever had Blood Moon, we will teach Arena Zoomers many, many lessons. I think... the thing with the Ashiok, like, yes, the ultimate would work good with that. Hey, what's up, Dandy Flaws? The problem is, I don't think you want to build around a Planeswalker's ultimate. Like, that's kind of the concern. Normally, because you just can't guarantee you're going to access the ultimate, it's usually risky to build around the specific, like, plan of ultimating a Planeswalker. So that would be the risk. So I think on one hand, yes, it could be good. Like, that is a sweet synergy. But in general, I would say I don't think we'll actually see that show up as a primary plan in competitive decks, just because you really don't want to build around Planeswalker ultimates. How good do you think the Ashiok is? We kind of had a little debate on the podcast. I kind of think this is a risky keep. I kind of think that the Ashiok is like a pretty good standard Planeswalker. Not a land. I think it's a pretty good standard Planeswalker. Like, just when I read it, it reminds me of Lolth mostly. We're going to update the deck after this and add the land cycler, see if that changes things. Like, +1 draw cards. You -2 twice to make 1/1s that grow, and then ultimate wins again. Like, doesn't that seem like a standard playable kind of planeswalker? You know what? Actually, why are we even playing this out? Let's update the deck and try a couple more matches, and then we might try tokens. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. What other lessons would we like to hand out to Zoomers? Is there anything I've missed that's like obviously good inclusions? I don't know how to spell this. Laureate revealed. Are we just going to play 18 lands? Is that like the greediest? Is that just the greediest? It is pretty greedy. It is pretty greedy. Probably worth it though, right? Maybe we go 19 lands. Maybe we got the... Do we need the artifact land? Is that even necessary? Maybe something like that. Let's see how much that changes it. It should help us hit domain more. Not sure, but the lesson videos have become some of my faves. Yeah, there's some of mine faves too. What have been the other lessons so far other than Turbofog Mill? So Turbofog was the most recent one. It actually started with when they added Chalice of the Void to Arena. Last fall. It was teaching Arena Zoomers about hard locks and chalices or something. And then there was a stacks one, teaching Arena Zoomers about stacks. So I think there's been 3 so far. It's one every like 2 or 3 months, essentially. I mean, I think we have the triomes that let us hit domain, right? So we have white black, green white, green black, and then steam vent. So we can get all of our colors with the cycling. So we do have I tried to avoid triomes that had both red and blue in them, because most of our lands are going to make red and blue. So we shouldn't have any trouble having an island in a mountain. So I think we can get all the types with it. Oh, Door to Nothingness. Yeah, that one, like, that one, I don't know if that actually counts or not. It ended up in the playlist because the title was similar. That wasn't supposed to be necessarily a teaching Arena Zoomers thing, but it just kind of seemed related, and the title ended up being related, so. Stasis. Stasis, there's no way that's ever coming to Arena. Never. Never, ever, ever in a million years. I really do want, though, like, I just want to, like, super stacks piece historic anthology. I would have so much fun if they did an anthology that was just like Blood Moon and Stasis and Snaring Bridge, all of those pieces. But I don't think they will. See, Wizards in 2023 has this thing about wanting Magic to be fun. They want their game to be fun for people to play. Little do they understand that it's actually about making people miserable. That is the reason to play the game, not to have fun. It's to crush people's souls. London, actually no. Tribal Flames in hand. We already have a wand. This one can go in the library. Exile Jetmir's Gardens. Land types almost achieved. We need black. All right, past the turd. Orcish Bowmasters, of course. Boy, every deck is playing Bowmasters, isn't it? I feel like every deck we've played has literally every deck we played had Bowmasters in the One Ring. If it is not, it's very close to every deck we've played. Well, Fiery Islet, and I guess we just pass and flame something, but it probably has counters. About it. Fun is a finite resource. You have to make sure you have all of it. I mean, honestly, I think that overall the changes Wizards has made to move away from stacks pieces has actually been a positive. Like, if the overall goal of the game is to have a lot of people play it and a lot of people enjoy it, as much as I personally enjoy stacks pieces in locks and prison decks, I don't think that most people do. Like, in general, I don't think that's how most people want to play the game of Magic. So I would say it's actually been a positive choice, even if there's going to be people who like that play style and they feel, you know, they feel like it's the game has gotten worse or whatever for them because of those changes. But really, overall, like, I don't know. Is there really any argument that Magic was better when people were Armageddoning each other, when you could only mulligan if you had all lands or 0 lands? Like, I think many of those changes have actually improved the game, even if I do miss people getting Blood Moon once in a while. All right, let's run out the wand. Our opponent, you're not going to counter the wand. No one even knows what this card is. Why would you counter it? So opponent's at 20, 5, 10. All right, there's a One Ring. And draws a card. Oh, there's another Triome. So we can't target our opponent this turn. Well, play the land. Yeah, I guess we just pass for now. Opponent, we're actually oddly close to winning here. Opponent's gonna draw with the One Ring. So we can... Actually, all right, you can... Sure, go ahead. Can we win here? So this hits our opponent to 18. This hits for 9. All right, opponent hits a sure. Down to 12. Well, okay. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Wanya. Down to 18. Improvise Club. Sack the wand. Hit ya, hit ya. It's a lot of damage going at the face. Down to 13. Down to 9. Tribal Flames ya. Okay, Sorin's Ransom. None of these cards matter. Do we just flex and put them all in one pile? Do we just... So I think we want them to take the Bowmasters and flash it in, probably. Let's do something like that. I mean, this should just be game, right? This should just be game. Opponent takes a face down pile. Snapcaster Mage. And opponent scoops it up. And that's okay. The land cycling actually seemed to help there. That actually seemed like a big upgrade. Magic is better back in insert year. You start doing okay, but now it's terrible because of insert examples of power creep. I mean, the power creep critique is actually legitimate in my opinion. I do think, and I see this in myself, I always go, when people ask me my favorite era of Magic, I go back to like 2014, 2015, somewhere in that time frame. And I think it's just mostly nostalgia. Like, is that era actually better than other eras? My guess is it's probably not. And it's just meaningful to me because I really enjoyed playing that era and whatever reason. So I think you're definitely right that we do exactly that. And it's different for each person. On the other hand, the power creep thing, like, I think that is just objectively happening. Actually, what is the... You started during Saga and you loved it? Oh boy. Saga, just doing some of these history videos. I didn't play during the Saga era. That was before my time. My God, is that a broken era. Just a broken set, a broken block, broken formats. One of the most broken, honestly. Falling Empire is one of the most powered down eras. It's reverse power creep. Do you think we'll ever go through that again? There's been like, if you look at the history of Magic, and I guess we should sideboard it at some point. If you look at the history of Magic, there's been multiple times when Wizards prints a very, very strong set or strong block and arguably goes a little bit too far and then intentionally ends up powering things down in the future. Like they intentionally cut back on the power level. You can see this if you just go... If you go back in Magic's history, there was definitely intentional powering down back during the Fallen Empire's Homelands era. They pulled back really, really hard on the power level. They did it again after Urza Saga, where like Mass Block and Nemesis and Prophecy really, really powered down. I would argue they did it again in the Dragon's Maze era after Jace the Mind Sculptor in the power level push of like Phyrexia. After we got through Innistrad, we got to like Dragon's Maze, Theros. I actually think this was kind of like a powered down era. Even this Ravnica set was kind of powered down. Do you think they'll ever do that again? Or are we just past the point? Is it just pedal to the metal power creep until we die? Kamigawa, yep. Kamigawa coming off of Mirrodin's brokenness was another one. Yep, that's another really good one. But do you think we'll ever do that again? Or do you think we're done? We're done with the powering down. It is just power to the moon, one set after another. All gas, no brakes. Exactly. I'm curious. It seems like it would be hard for Wizards to push the brakes now. I don't know how they push the brakes at this point. I feel like it might just be too late for brake pushing. Might be too late. Opponent. Fable of the Mirror Broken. Well, I guess that's just gonna happen. Expressive it. Oh no. Well, Tribal Flames in hand. Juan's got to go library because we can't cast it. Well, play the land. Play Chromatic Star. Kind of whiffed on a land there, but that's okay. Pass the turn. Oh, boo. I don't know if we'll ever get reverse power creep. Because the problem with reversing power creep is people don't like the power down sets at the time. Very few, I don't want to say no one, because I think someone in the chat just said they love this set. But like, no one really looks back fondly on Homelands and Fallen Empires. No one really looks back fondly on Dragon's Maids. No one, like, those power down sets, like, they don't sell well, and players don't enjoy them. It's very hard to go from, like, super powerful stuff to, like, here's a 2/2 spirit for 6 mana with Soul Shift. Like, that's a big jarring shift. So I don't even know if they can do it anymore. I think maybe it's just past that point. See, I knew there would be people in the chat who would love Fallen Empires and Dragon Maids. There's dozens of them. But in general, I think why we don't see sets powered down more often is, in general, people would prefer to play with the powerful sets. Well, let's try this. How do you feel about an Arcane Proxy opponent? Haha. It's like a Snapcaster, but without flash. And it's countered. Alright. Continue the snowballing. Sauron's Ransom. Sure. Liliana versus... Will we ever see another vanilla creature? I mean, I think we'll see vanilla creatures. There still will be vanilla creatures. Will we ever go back to a time when there's a ton of them? I would be surprised. But really, like, do we want a lot of vanilla creatures? I think having 0 vanilla creatures are weird, but, like, I don't know. I'm curious, like, are more vanilla creatures a good thing? I mean, we got Yargle. We got Yargle and Mutani. Very vanilla, but like, isn't it bad? Do we really want Grizzly Bears back? Like, is Magic better with Grizzly Bears or a Grizzly Bears with the set mechanic? I kind of feel like in general, I enjoy it more when the cards do more. Maybe Maybe that's like the wrong way to look at it, and that's not actually correct, but outside of nostalgia, like, I don't know, do I really want grizzly bears? Wouldn't it be better if my grizzly bears had, you know, something stapled to it to make it a little bit more fun, a little more options? What's important is that there are vanillas when I'm bored. Yeah, so kind of the, like, is that French vanilla? Is that what they call it? I think that's true. Like, if everything has activated abilities, triggered abilities, that can get overwhelming. Just having so many things to keep track of. I know I played... I've mentioned this deck before. I built a Yarok Attractions deck in Commander when the Attractions first came out. And the idea was really cool, and it did some neat things. But eventually got to the point where just resolving the attractions was so overwhelming. It wasn't enjoyable to play the deck. It was just too much effort, too much to keep track of. So I think that is a concern. Like, if everything does everything, it's just too much for people's brains to care about tracking. On the other hand, I don't know if Hill Giant and Grizzly Bears and Gray Ogres, like, I don't know if those cards actually are fun. They're just, like, nostalgic and iconic because they've been around forever. I play decks on Arena, could never play IRL, would take so long. Yeah, I definitely have decks like that too. Like the Lannis token decks, my god. I couldn't imagine trying to keep track of what those are doing and applying all the, like, replacement effects and the layers of the replacement effects. No chance I'm trying to do that in paper. No. Where's our lands? Where's our lands? Do we even care about Liliana at this point? We do kind of want lands. Are we just letting this snowball and go off? Is that our current plan? Well, crack this for a blue mana. Draw a Magic the Gathering card. Opponent boy. I mean, most creatures from the early days of Magic, Sarah Angel, Shivan Dragon, most of those creatures are not good anymore. Not even close. Like, there was literally a time where it was correct to trade your Black Lotus for a Shivan Dragon. That was actually a thing. Hey Seth, how was PT in Barcelona? Congrats on going 10-6 and going to Worlds. Hey, thank you, Jockkick. I'm looking forward to it. Actually, I think you're thinking of Seth Mansfeld, who is almost as good at Magic as I am. Close. He's close. I'm worried that Moto and Arena are convincing Wizards said more abilities since the computer will track them. I think that's a thing that is true. I think because, and we've seen changes in the other direction too, where in some cases it lets Wizards add more complexity. In other cases, this feels weird, but I think we need to keep this from snowballing. So in some cases, I think it lets Wizards add more complexity because I figure, oh, the AI will take care of it. In other cases, though, there's some things that don't work well in digital Magic. The best example is Ajani's Pridemate, where Ajani's Pridemate, if you read the original Ajani's Pridemate, it is a May ability. Whenever you gain life, you may put a +1/+1 counter on a Johnny's Pridemate. Wizards, they don't do functional erratas. They errated Pridemate to say whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So it's not a May ability. This is a case where, because the May trigger is annoying to have to click every time you gain life in digital, They just changed the text on the paper card. They literally errated the card to make it play cleaner on Arena. In all honesty, like, does it really matter in this case? You really gotta construct a pretty specific scenario where you don't want to grow your Ajani's Pride mate. It's mostly like, my opponent could have an ensnaring bridge, and it would be correct to say no because I wouldn't be able to attack if it got bigger. But in like 99.9% of cases, like, you're gonna want to grow it anyway. But there are, like, that's an example of Wizards literally changing a paper card that's been around a decade to suit the whims of its digital formats. Quitter, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much. Well, this has gotten much easier since our opponent stopped playing. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank ya. Well, all right. Pass the turn, opponent. Rezikapinot, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. The precedent is a bit of a concern. Although honestly, like, I don't know. So I did that. Oh, I gotta get the Warren Karn sleeves. Are they in the store now? We're gonna have to check the store after this. I did that video yesterday about the fastest bannings. About the fastest bannings in the history of Magic, and one of the cards on the list is Tybalt's Trickery. Actually, it was like number 3 on the list. It's one of the fastest bannings ever. This is one of those cards where, like, I kind of wish they were more able to errata cards, because I like Tybalt's Trickery as a card. It just needs to only counter your opponent's spells. Well, our opponent has decided to return. If it only counters your opponent's spells, then it's perfectly fine, right? It's actually like a pretty healthy, acceptable card. Hey, thank you, Quidrup. I do enjoy the history videos. I like Magic's history, so I like doing them for my own amusement. Well, I think, oh, is this only creature? Doesn't it have planeswalkers? Really? This is a 2023 card too. You better not be Bowmasting every time. Oh, we're gonna die. We are going to die. Oh no. Our opponent stopped playing for like 3 turns and now they're going to kill us. Yeah, this is not great. Not great at all. So we dropped to 8. We have all of our land types, right? Well, all right, land cycle this. Actually, do we even land cycle? Yeah, land cycle it. Down to 7. Get an island. Yeah, I'm not sure we live long enough here. Oh, we draw Wand, though. Wand is interesting. Well, I guess it's going to depend on what counters they have. So play the Wand. Play the island. Oh, this is going to be super close. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. So if they go to copy the Bowmasters, opponent's going to play the One Ring. Oh, that's going to beat us. Oh, that's bad. That's real bad. Okay. Because we can only cast these at sorcery speed. I don't know if we can live long enough now. Oh, Tribal Flames needs to be an instant. Yeah, boy. Has every single deck we played... Oh, I missed a donation. My apologies, Jaguar. Oh, I'm so sorry. Has every single deck been One Ring Bowmasters? I think it has. We have a new donation. Oh, my apologies, Jaguar. From Jaguar, 2100 $5 donation. Hey, Seth, I'm entering a Pioneer tournament in 2 weeks. I haven't played in a few sets. I tried updating my mono white prison deck, but I would appreciate your feedback. Well, Jaguar, thank you so much for the donation, and I will pull up the deck list Alright. Snapcaster down, I guess.
I'm tired of your secrets.
Actually, maybe, You know what? I think we have to discard a Tribal Flames, unfortunately. Opponent pitches a Liliana. Opponent goes to combat. Opponent attacks with everything. So Liliana can ultimate. How can we possibly do this? We can wand this, then we go to 1. The One Ring is so ridiculous. I mean, I guess our opponent has just a lot of really ridiculous cards, but... apparently we still lose to the One Ring. We can run out Snapcaster and go to 1. Is there any way out of this? McIntyre, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Do this. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think there's a way out of here, but ping the Bowmaster. Drop to 1. Can't target our opponent because of the One Ring. Draw a Cycler. Liliana ultimates. We have to kill literally everything. I mean, we can kill everything, but how do we... then we don't have any damage. Eventually, they'll just draw Bowmaster anyway. This feels so bad. Feels so bad. So much damage going to waste. Opponent gonna One Ring to draw cards. I don't know. I kind of think we just gotta ban the One Ring. Opponent draws a Spell Pierce. Land Cycle. Grab a Triome. Play a Triome. Like, I heard some arguments coming out of the Pro Tour that, like, well, it wasn't that bad. Like, sure, everyone can play it. But isn't that what makes it bad? Like, is that a good thing? Like, oh, like, it's colorless, so literally every deck can play the One Ring. No, that's not what we want. I don't think that's what we want. I don't think we want every deck to be playing a single card. That's not what Magic is supposed to be about. That's a drawback, not a positive. Well, that's more wands. That is more wands. Well, play the wand. Why are you slow rolling, opponent? Why are you slow rolling? And they... Alright, opponent slow rolls and says good game. The One Ring is a joke, just a scam to make money. Is it? Do you actually think it is? There wasn't enough trying into the Pro Tour. Be curious to see the world's outcome before they take the Banhammer to the One Ring. In a normal world, I'd be like, give it 3 more months and we'll see. The problem is, like, here's the issue. Here's the issue that I can't get around. And the issue is, I guess, Wizards mind-blowingly, I don't know. Like, I don't understand what they're thinking. But the problem is, they said they're not, like, this is the only ban list update for a year, right? Like, they have emergency lists for if they accidentally print Oko, but I don't think the One Ring qualifies for that based on their description. Their description was emergency bans 8 weeks after a set release for extreme situations. We don't plan on really using them, and it's for when we print Copycat Combo or we print Oko. Like, the newest set has some really busted thing, and Magic just won't survive without it. So if we were living in a sane world where Wizards could where Wizards had a system where they could manage formats regularly, then I think my opinion would be, yeah, give it another 3 months, give it another 6 months, and then do what you got to do. Like maybe the format adjusts, maybe the meta adjusts, and we never even have to ban it. That would be the best case scenario. Like maybe that's where we end up, and giving it another 3 months to figure that out. That would actually be ideal. I think that would be the ideal outcome. But if Wizards is thinking we either ban it next week or we do not ban it until August 2024, I think you got to ban it now. Because I think the risk is too high that the format can't adjust. I would like to see it have a chance to adjust for another 3 months or so. Like give it a little bit more time. But a year is just like too long. Like a year is just too long to see if something can adjust. So I feel like, boy, it's going to be a very interesting year in Magic. It is going to be very interesting. Going to be interesting to see how all these things that to me seem misguided, to see if any of them work out. The like getting rid of standard rotation, trying to only ban once a year. When I hear all those things, they sound like kind of insane. Like, what are you thinking, Watsy? But maybe, boy, the Scrap Digger's Cage is kind of obnoxious. But maybe it'll work out better than we think. Like maybe somehow Wizards knows what they're doing, and it's actually gonna be for the best. But I don't know. What if that's the choice, chat? So I think maybe most of us agree that the ideal world would be like, oh god, One Ring. The ideal world would be like give it until September after the next set release in Worlds to see what happens, and then if things are still how they are, take action on it. I think it seems like that's where most people are, maybe. But what if that's not an option? What if the option is either you do it now or we will not do anything until a year from now? Do you push up the clock and just like do it, or do you not do it? And if the format's 90% One Ring decks come February, like you just play, I don't know, Kamigawa Black Tiny Leaders until summer? Or I guess maybe what happens is Wizards ends up backtracking on some of this stuff, which we've seen in the past. Like, remember when they did faster rotation? And then some people complained, so like, before we even had the first rotation, they backtracked the whole thing, and we're like, oh, no, we're not actually. Just kidding, everyone. Some people complained, so we're going to go back to the normal thing. So maybe all of this means nothing, and all of our words are going to waste because actually Wizards is just going to change their mind in 6 months anyway. They did add to this their announcement. In addition to the yearly announcement, we have a banner restructure update every third Monday after every set release, specifically dedicated to addressing large environmental imbalances. These will by and large happen after the Pro Tour. Large environmental imbalances. I wonder what those words mean. I mean, I guess, like, I think probably what's really happening is Wizards I think they're kind of just making everything up as they go along. So I think that might actually be where we're at, is they're just kind of making stuff up as they go along and trying to figure it out, just like we are. Down to 13. I mean, I still like, I guess it's getting a little, as the days go by, it's getting a little bit less and less enjoyable. Like, at first I really enjoyed playing with the One Ring, but it's one of those cards where the fun, like, kind of starts wearing off after a while because it just ends up being, like, so pushed. Oh, right on a Snapcaster. We really need a way to sacrifice these wands. Paying your face down to 10. We are close. Oh, no, we're not close. They have the One Ring with Shieldred, so nothing we do matters. Yeah, of course. Yes. One Ring Shieldred. The game of Magic is over because the One Ring is on the battlefield. I mean, yeah, we can try to. It'll probably get countered. At this point, it's already, like, our opponent's already gained so much life, I don't think it matters, even if it works. Well, Arcane Proxy. I expect our stuff just gets countered anyway, though. Opponent. Mystical Dispute. Well, I guess we pay. Tribal Flames. Exile it. Hit the Shieldred. Yeah, but even just that one turn, our opponent, they gain so much life. Yeah, Bowmasters. It only really takes one turn of Shieldred, the One Ring, to pretty much lock us out of the game. Which is kind of what we're seeing now. Just that one turn of gain 8 is just, yeah. All right, sure, the One Ring. It's technically a Magic card. I wonder how many modern players would just give up rather than buying into playsets of the Ring. That's actually a really interesting topic, because remember Wizards' big thing about, like, they wanted to lengthen standard rotation, essentially to give people confidence in buying cards. I'm really curious how, like, stuff like this plays into it, because, like, what do you do about the One Ring? Where we were talking about, like, Shieldred. What do you do about Shieldred? Like, how do you handle Shieldred in standard? Do you buy Shieldred? Do you buy Shieldred trusting that it won't get banned? Do you look at the fact that it's in, like, some absurd 56% of decks, like some just absurdly off the charts number, and you're like, I can't buy it because it could get banned? Do you risk $70 a copy? So in some ways, like, I feel like really powerful push cards that lead to the conversations about whether or not they should get banned does as much to shake people's confidence in buying cards as having standard rotate. So I don't know. It's kind of a double-edged sword. I think it's a very interesting topic. So I don't know what you do about that. Let's look at this deck, Jaguar. So mono white Enchantment Prison. Ooh, I mean, I do love some 9-life Solemnity Lock. I think. So one of the things to look out for, Jaguar, as you're going into this tournament is, I don't know when the last time you played it is. Beseiju is a relatively popular card now, and it's really made the 9-life Solemnity Lock a little bit less consistent. So keep that in mind. Like, mono green is, like, probably the #1 deck right now that you play the most often in a tournament, and they're gonna have access to Beseijus, and Beseijus is a good way to get out from under the lock. So that's gonna be something to be wary of, I would say, or be prepared for the possibility of the lock being more of like a soft lock than a hard lock at this point. Kind of the same thing you see with Blood Moon in Modern. Like, Blood Moon used to be you could hard lock someone with it. Now you can't really hard lock people usually. Instead, you need the Blood Moon to, like, buy yourself a couple of turns as you try to win by attacking or whatever. That's kind of it's more of a tempo card. So I think that's something to keep in mind. The enchantment-based locks are going to be tricky to make into hard locks. The deck looks super sweet. It's got some cool plans going on. I honestly have no idea how this will line up with the current meta. I would also say, okay, you got Rest in Peace. Rakdos Sacrifice also really popular. So Rest in Peace, being able to tutor that up seems like a good option. Well, good luck, Jaguar. I love the 9-life Solemnity Lock, so I will be excited to hear how it goes. All right. I really don't want to add the One Ring to this deck. If we add the One Ring, though, we probably just, like, never lose, right? Let's actually, for science, do we add the One Ring? Maybe we just add the One Ring for science. Is that the world we live in? Do we just have to play the One Ring to keep up with the One Ring? That might be the world. That might be the world. Why do so many cards pop up when you type the One Ring into Arena? What? Every card is technically the One Ring. I don't understand. How's that possible? Where's the ring coming from? So the is gonna be in a lot of cards. One is gonna be in a lot of cards. I don't know. Why do so many show up? Oh, just ing. Oh. How do we? Oh, during. That's hilarious. I don't know if I've ever seen a card that showed up in so many different cards show up in a search term for one card name. So if we add the One Ring, what do we cut though? Or we just try tokens. Should we just try tokens? Maybe we just try tokens. What do you think, chat? Should we add the One Ring and do more of this, or do you want to try the token deck? Which would you prefer? Tokens? Oh yeah, we got to go to the shop. I forgot. I knew there was something I was supposed to be doing. Cut more lands? I don't know if we can cut that many more lands. Seems like most people want to see some tokening anyway. Oh, only 3,000 gold. That's a discount. I mean, this is one of the coolest sleeves. Probably the coolest sleeve they've added to Arena. I think that's worth 3,000 gold. Where else can you look like you're playing a beat up card from the 90s? Wait, hopefully, did I set that as the default? Hopefully. I think I clicked it. Let's see. Where are you? Ah, there we go. Okay. Now we can't lose. Now we can't lose. What's the reasoning behind Arcane Proxy? Arcane Proxy is actually really... So Arcane Proxy is a wizard. It's also really good with Shrapnel Blast. Arcane Proxy... So for 3 mana, it does the Snapcaster thing. Except it's also an artifact. So we can flash back the Shrapnel Blast, and then you can sack the Arcane Proxy. So essentially the idea is you're like, Shrapnel Blast, hopefully sack a wand, hit you for 10. Arcane Proxy, flash back the Shrapnel Blast. If you don't have another artifact, sack the Arcane Proxy, hit you for 5 more. The plan is cool. I don't know how it matches up to literally everyone. Every single deck we played today has been One Ring Bowmaster deck. I don't think I'm missing any. I'm pretty sure it's been literally every single one. So white-black tokens. You might remember this from a while ago as a budget Magic deck. Well, it's gotten a couple of huge upgrades. So one is, of course, Orcish Bowmasters. Needs no introduction. The other is Shadow Summoning. So Shadow Summoning, this is one of the uncommons from the Lord of the Rings set that I think actually just hasn't gotten enough hype. 2/1/1 flyers for 2 mana is a really good deal. Like, this is where in the past we were playing like Raise the Alarm, just 2/1/1 ground creatures. This is such a big upgrade. Being flyers is way better than being ground creatures. So those are the 2 biggest additions. The 2 biggest additions are Bowmaster Shadow Summoning, just really improved the 2-drop slot. Otherwise, Lingering Souls makes a lot of flyers. Battle Screech makes a lot of flyers. Back it up with Intangible Virtue Wedding Announcement to pump the team, a little Rampant Legion Landing, and that's essentially the deck. It's so, you would think that playing a lot of 1 toughness creatures are not good against Bowmaster. But if you play enough 1 toughness creatures, hopefully you can just kind of force your way through the Bowmasters. Like, there's just going to be too many for the Bowmasters to actually snipe all of them. I'm begging for a budget Magic time. This deck isn't technically budget. We're playing a real mana base. Like, this is an upgraded budget Magic deck, I would say. Yes, this deck actually has a playset it can retake down. Lingering Soul is still pretty good, even in 2023. Oh, the card was one of the best cards of its time, like, when it first came out. It used to see play in Modern. It was really good in Standard. It was just, like, a really good card. No, it's not what it used to be, but someone played this token deck with Vulcanwrath Aristocrat in it. Oh, that's actually sweet. That reminds me of the original Aristocrat deck. They might have been trying to replicate, like, these cards. these cards, a Bowmasters, and also Crucius, and also Thoughtseize, and also the One Ring. Well, considering this hand, I hate Thoughtseizing the Thoughtseize, but I think we have to Thoughtseize the Thoughtseize. Because we really need this Intangible Virtue to make our creatures big enough to not die to Bowmasters, and then we make a bunch of 1/1s and hope for the best. Yeah, this looks familiar. I think I've seen these cards before. Opponent. Oh yeah, the block Lingering Souls deck was off the charts, ridiculous. I think it's still, compared to the rest of the format it was in, it might be the strongest deck I've ever played. Like it was literally like an 80% win rate deck or something. And it was like, it was just so much better than anything else you could do. I mean, it was block constructed, so I don't know. I don't even really think of block constructed as a real format for the most part. I wonder if they'd ever bring that back. That could be an interesting option. Like, now that they're... am I talking myself into block constructed? The problem is we don't have blocks anymore. But block would actually be a really cool way. If you're going to make standard slow and not rotate, block would be a cool way to make sure the newest cards are relevant. Because one of the concerns with long rotation is, like, that's a lot of cards to beat out. If your newest cards are competing with 3 years worth of cards instead of 2, less of the newest cards are going to be playable. Block constructed, maybe block constructed could solve our problem. If only there were blocks. If only there were blocks. Oh, we got to look at, remind me, I want to look at Mark Rosewater's State of Design article too. Doesn't Bowmasters just hose Wedding Announcement? Normally it would, except we have Intangible Virtue. So it's not going to hose us today. Intangible Virtue just gives our creature tokens +1/+0, so, or +1/+1 in Vigilance. So now we can swing through the Bowmasters, not get pinged by the Bowmasters. That's why we had to Thoughtseize the Thoughtseize, essentially, was we really needed to stick the Intangible Virtue. I think we're actually in a pretty good spot here. Like, opponent's going to One Ring at some point, but we can hit you to 18. We can play Legion's Landing, make another 2/2. Wedding Announcement's going to make another 2/2, and we can Bowmasters the Bowmaster. I think we're actually just taking down the best deck in the format at the moment with a bunch of 1/1s. I really want them to make a chaos format where we grab 8 or so random sets from Arena and have that be the format for like 2 months. That would actually be interesting. I feel like we need more creativity like that on Arena. I feel like more unique formats, I don't know. Would I actually play them? I never play very rarely do I play midweek Magic events. So maybe I would just not play them anyway. But I kind of feel like more creativity would be a positive. Well, we're going to put a lot of bodies on this battlefield. Opponent, draw your card, friend. We'll snipe your Orc army. And we draw a takedown. Well, we get to go to combat. We attack. Flip our Legion Landing. Oh, we are crushing. We are crushing opponent. They're not going to have a sweeper, right? They're not going to have a sweeper. Battle Screech. Battle Screech. I mean, this is pretty impressive. This is pretty impressive. Flip it. They're all huge. Opponent, can you beat it, One Ring? Please say no. Oh, if you actually can beat it. Shieldred, we don't care about that. We have a MDFC. Yeah, so you get to gain a little life. Sure, Shieldred. But we have a Bowmasters. So actually they don't end up really gaining in the end. Opponent, would you like to die? Would you like to die, best deck in the format? So Seth, I think y'all are off on Obtuse Archaic on the podcast. Oh god, I gotta look up this card. Obtuse Archaic. Alright, I think y'all are off on Obtuse Archaic on the podcast. Y'all seem to overlook it can target any ability from a land or an artifact, strip mine 2 lands, Vora's Stronghold 2 creatures, fetch 2 lands, kill 2 players, with a reservoir activation. Do voltaic key shenanigans, but stage 2 permanents. Should I go on? What do you think, chat? What's your take on Obtuse Archaic? I mean, so Obtuse Archaic. So I think. So this, it's a 4-mana 3/4 with Vigilance. You can pay 1, tap it to copy target activate or triggered ability from a colorless source. So I will say the land idea is cool. Like, that's being able to like copy a fetch land and double ramp, being able to copy some of those things you mentioned, various land triggers. That is neat. To me, it feels a little slow and expensive. Aren't there just like cheaper ways of doing that, or no? I mean, I guess it depends. So you have like Steronic Resonator, the Peregrine Dynamo. I guess they don't do exactly the same thing. I mean, maybe it's better than I give it credit for. I don't know, a 4-mana 3/3 just... It's not much of a body. It doesn't have haste. I guess for me, like, it looks bad to me compared to the last version they printed in Peregrine Dynamo. Mostly because this one comes down with haste. So it comes down and, like, immediately does something. It only works for legendaries. So that's kind of the drawback, that maybe it's it is a little bit narrower. So you're not going to get all the same shenanigans out of it. But it does look just like a little expensive and not hasty compared to the Peregrine Dynamo. I don't think it's bad though. I just like, would you put this in your commander deck? I guess is the question. Would you put this in your commander deck? I feel like, I don't know. I just can't see myself really running it that much. Maybe, no, I can't. I just really can't see myself running it. I don't know. I do like the land shenanigans. Those are cool suggestions. Maybe we underestimated the land shenanigans. That's possible, but I still think it's kind of like a card that I would probably end up not playing in most decks. Maybe if there's a specific deck that's really... Oh, we get to see Shadow Summoning. If there's a deck that's really built around those land synergies, then I could see it going up in value. But unless I'm like really focused on that being my primary game plan, like the idea that I would play this in an Eldrazi deck to like double my Eldrazi trigger, it just seems... I think I'd rather just play another ramp spell to get to my Eldrazi or something. Like, my Eldrazi are so powerful. Yeah, aren't those sleeves great? The Eldrazi are so powerful, I don't think you need like to make them even better. They're already super good. Oh, can you update the deck? Yeah, remind me after this game. I gotta export this token deck. Double prototype, yes. Double portal to Phyrexia, just rat them all. Like, it can do cool things. Even though it's like kind of Win-Mori, like even copying an Eldrazi trigger is cool. So if you want to play it just because it's cool, I mean, that's what Commander is about, right? So well, at least we get to be the second Bowmasters. I mean, but that is mostly what Commander is about, is doing those cool things. So if you want to play it to do those cool things, yeah, double do or nothing it, that's spectacular. Like, then you should play it. I don't want to discourage you from playing it, but if I was picking up the Eldrazi precon, I'm honestly probably taking it out. It does come up with Sands to Time. About it. Tap land and Grafdigger's Cage. It's actually kind of good against us, isn't it? Actually kind of good against us. Well, let's go to combat. Get in with a 1/1. Hit ya. Are we trading, opponent? At least we got a Bowmasters to punish the One Ring, if that's what our opponent ends up doing. I don't know how we get rid of this Grafdigger's Cage. I don't think we do. Which means our flashback is going to be a lot worse. So what What Throne of Eldraine? What Wilds of Eldraine card are you most hyped for that we've seen so far? Like, do these early spoilers make you more or less hyped for the set overall? Does every color need a Crater Hoof? Maybe that's the era of Magic we're in, that every color just needs a Crater Hoof. Bubba Man! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. I mean, is that the best white finisher? It's got to be one of the best white finishers. I guess a Chroma's Will is kind of ridiculous, but I think it's on the short list of best white finishers. Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of things that let games end. He said after not fractured identitying his phage last week. Oh, I didn't even ask you about that. Did you watch last week's Commander Clash? What did you think of that play, if you did? I knew as I was doing it, it was going to be controversial. I'm actually curious if you think it was right or not. So if you didn't see it, basically the situation was I was playing a Fractured Identity deck. It was like a Hidden Commander Fractured Identity deck. And the main idea of the deck was just to do cool things with Fractured Identity, where you're gonna just like, you're gonna be in Fractured Identity, if you don't know it, it exiles a permanent and gives each other player a token copy of that permanent. So the main goal of the deck was just to like do cool Fractured Identity things, where you would be, oh, I guess we didn't need to attack with everything, did we? But the main goal was just to do cool Fractured Identity things. And we hadn't done any cool Fractured Identity things. We happened to draw into Fractured Identity Phage. And that's like the combo kill that can make the game end. You play your Phage and then Fractured Identity, everyone else gets a copy, they die. And I chose not to do it, even though I had the mana to do it, specifically because I wanted to do more cool things. That's actually, so that's the question. I'm not sure if that actually was the right play or not. I don't know if it's better just to like, we had the win, so you should play it and make the game end. Or is it better to have a more like enjoyable experience, get to see more interesting things happen? And I've seen a mixed response so far. Like, some people really like it, some people don't. Let me see, Gumball. Everything except for Ashiok made me really excited. It's super bizarre, mutual exile mill card. I like Ashiok. I think Ashiok is cool. Although I expect a lot of people are not going to like it, because people don't like exiling their own cards. A lot of people. Yeah, it would have been brutal to lose. But I was like okay with I was okay with that. I don't really play Commander to win. Like, I don't mind winning. If I win, that's cool. But like, I kind of play Commander to have fun. So if it ends up that I don't win, like, yeah, I guess it would be awkward to look back on and be like, oh, I could have won an hour ago. Did you have fun doing cool things? If yes, doesn't really matter. I mean, the thing is though, it's also content. That's the other side of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's the other side of it. It's also for content. So what you all enjoy is also a part of it. Like if I was just playing not on camera that game, I think I would have made that exact same play, but no one would have ever known. No one would have known the Fade was in my hand. No one would have known I could have ended the game, so I just would have never told anyone. But I think I would have done the exact same thing. I think I would have done the exact same thing if I was just playing at home, not on camera. The difference is when you're playing on YouTube, everyone knows. Everyone sees the Fade, they see the line, and they know you could have done it. That's what makes it a little bit different. Oh yes, Intangible Virtue is like one of our best and most important cards. So opponent's gonna, do we still win? So opponent's gonna gain a bunch. Man, this Bowmasters is saving us. I will say the more we play this One Ring Bowmasters meta, Wow, they should have done that earlier. Oh, maybe they just drew it. The more we play this meta, I don't know if you can ban the One Ring but not Bowmasters or vice versa. Like, I kind of feel like you just gotta do it all, right? Like, Bowmasters helps keep One Ring in check. So if you just ban Bowmasters, One Ring gets even wilder. I guess you could just ban the One Ring and not Bowmasters, and that would probably be fine. Now, hopefully this is game. One Ring. And opponent dead, 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 dead. Who doesn't want to win the game twice? Okay, did you see? So, once a year, I did want to bring this up too. So, once a year, I wanted to see what you thought of this. Mark Rosewater's takes on this. Once a year, Mark Rosewater, head designer of Magic, he publishes a State of Design article where he goes through, Bowmasters definitely does punishing entire archetypes. He goes through all the sets of the year and basically says, here's what's good, here's what's bad. I'm curious what you think of this feedback. So we're not going to go through all the general stuff. It's like, well, we want sets to tie more together, sets were too insular or whatever. Dominaria United, first set of the new Magic year. Like the Invasion feel, many references for the past were appreciated. Set enjoyable, limited, sure. Felt too generic, yeah, whatever. Number of flavor issues, sure, limited had some issues, whatever, I don't care, none of this stuff seems that interesting. Unfinity, I'm curious, do you remember Unfinity? What do you think of these takeaways? So players love the flavor and humor of the set. Okay, that's probably true. The flavor and humor was fine. There are a lot of positive comments about limited play. Sure, I guess. I remember my biggest comment about limited was essentially that it took a lot of brain power to track everything that was going on. Some players appreciated that over half of the cards were return illegal. Other players greatly disliked that those cards were return illegal. Had too much complexity. Stickers had several logistical issues. On one hand, it's like, these things are what we said. Like, if you read through this entire article, Phyrexia all will be one. Too parasitic. Flavor was off-putting. March the Machine's Aftermath. The set was too small. People didn't like paying the same amount for fewer cards. These things are true. These were the things that were said about this set. And the positive ones as well. A lot of these positive ones were things that I heard people say. I do wonder, like, is this just repeating back what we said to them, though? Like, it kind of feels like that a little bit. There isn't... Compared to past years, I feel like there was more of Mark in these articles where Mark shared more of his opinions on things. This one, to some extent, it seems like it's kind of just like, this is what Magic social media said about these sets. On one hand, I guess it's good to see, like, some of the price criticism actually being acknowledged in a WotC article. Like, that, I think that's very real and important criticism. Did they actually get that? Does that mean it's gonna, like, change in the future? Are we not gonna see Aftermath sell for so much? Is it gonna be cheaper? That's the part that I wonder about. Like, I'm glad that they're saying this and that they know that those things are being said. It shows they're listening, but what would really show they're listening is if things change in the future, right? Like, if next time there's an Aftermath, it's cheaper. It might just be an acknowledges. I mean, it might be a way to say we're listening, but I hope they make changes. I mean, it's definitely better than the opposite. I would rather have, and some of the stuff caught me by surprise. Like, they usually don't get into price stuff. So even just them in an official Mothership article talking about the prices being too high for a product, even if it is just like taking what people said on Twitter or Reddit or Facebook or whatever, that caught me by surprise. I wasn't really expecting that from an official Mothership article. So I think that's a good step. That's a good step, at least. Whether or not that leads to things being different in the future, that's another question. Here's the deck list. Do you still have the Explorer Vampire deck we played a while ago? Let me see. It is probably in my my collection somewhere on Goldfish. Vampire Surprise. Was it the one with Galta and Maverin? If it's a Galta and Maverin one, that is the vampire list. Well, game 1 of tokens went well. I wonder how long it takes WotC to process the surveys that give us links to like the recent one on Arena. I don't know. I feel like those are done by outside companies. Like that WotC hires contractors to do it. That's my impression, at least. Like, the websites don't seem like official WotC websites. It seems like they hire outside survey companies to do it. So my assumption has always been that someone else runs the survey and then essentially just gives WotC all the data once they're done. Which is probably the best way to do it. Like if you're a Magic card company and your expertise is not in doing surveys, then it probably makes the most sense to oh, now I gotta think about this. Battle Screech needs what? 3. So if we wedding announcement in week 1, yeah, this is probably best. Let's get on wedding announcement. The challenge in this matchup is they're gonna have Gates Ablaze, and Gates Ablaze is good at wiping out a board of tokens. Well, play the land. We gotta go for it. Battle Screech, run it out. Battle Screech, run it out again. Come on, no sweeper, no sweeper, no sweeper, no sweeper, no sweeper. We need 2 turns with no sweeper. Opponent, Baldur's Gate. Gate Colossus, that's fine. Oh, that actually really helps. Thought sees you. Get rid of that Archway Angel. Intangible Virtue. Hit you with everything. Opponent kills the token. Takes 10. We flip it. They gotta draw a sweeper. They gotta draw a sweeper this turn. Do they draw the Gates Ablaze? Or are they dead? Opponent scoops it up. Okay, tokens. Tokens might be good. Tokens might actually be good. Oh, Vampires in Historic with Bloodghast. Yes. This one, I will say, only played a couple games with it. It didn't go super well. That's the Bloodghast one. Only played a couple games with it. It didn't go super well. I would not necessarily say to spend all my wild cards on it. I just haven't tested it or tuned it enough. Falconwrath Aristocrat was sweet, but I think you want to test it a little bit before going all in on spending all your wild cards on it. On the other hand, Gates, I think, is kind of busted. Gates, I think, might actually just be the solution. I realize there might be a Gates video coming up, by the way, in a bit, but I'm pretty sure Guild Summit is just the One Ring, except better. That's the power of Gates. Gates actually gets their own One Ring, and it's basically just better than the actual One Ring. Thaw sees you. Ooh. All right, you know what? You can draw with your Guild Summit. You can have the One Ring, opponent. You can have the One Ring, that's fine. We're just going to kill you with tokens. That's our plan anyway. Boom. Shadow Summoning. Give us those 2 1/1s. Opponent. Baldur's Gate. And going to get down the Guild Summit. Gets down the Guild Summit. Sure. No card draw yet. Well, Shadow Summons. Number 2. Hit ya. Down to 18, Cabria's Takedown. Do you find a sweeper? Aye! The answer is yes. All right, that's not great. We would have preferred our opponent not to draw the sweeper. Well, play a wedding announcement. Pass the turn. How many sweepers do you got, Gates? How many sweepers you got, opponent? Oh, teaching Arena Zoomers about the Legend Rule. Actually, Arena Zoomers teaching themselves about the Legend Rule. Guild Summon number 2. Oh, there's a Bowmaster. That is a Bowmaster. Go to combat. Hit ya. Land untapped. Lingering Souls. Draw a card. Pass the turn. Wedding announcement flips next turn. Opponent draws 2. The card advantage is here. I don't really want to flash out this Bowmasters yet because of the sweeper. Gatebreak Ram. Okay. Okay. Well, now we're going to do it. Bowmasters, yeah. Hit ya. Go to combat. Hit ya. I mean, I guess we just gotta hope they don't have a sweeper. Opponent goes to 13. Battle Screech. Battle Screech. Flash them back. Draw a card. Pump the team. Do they find sweeper number 3? Open the gate. Okay, that's not a sweeper. You can play all the Gate Colossuses and Gatebreak Rams you want. All of those are fine. Just no sweepers. No sweepers. Opponent. Orzhov Guildgate. Plays it. Draws 2. Gets pinged. And gets pinged. Did they draw a sweeper? Yeah, now we're dead. Now we're dead. Well, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Okay. Pass the turn. Should have pinged the goat. Yeah, I think maybe you're right, actually. I guess that would have been good against them having exactly Gates Ablaze. Like, if they have exactly Gates Ablaze, then that works out really well. It doesn't help against the other... It doesn't help against the other sweepers. Well, ping you down to 8. But that still probably would have been best, because if they don't draw a sweeper, we win no matter what. If they do draw a sweeper, we may or may not win. Well, all right. Down to 2. Arcway Angel. I mean, I do think Gates is busted. Tangible Virtue. There was a time that would have been really good for us. Oh, we were so close to. We were so close to. Well, all right. Player stuff. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. I mean, we are just dead if they attack. Okay, they're going to play a gate. Ping the ram. Oh, yeah, I actually think Gates is probably the best deck in Historic right now. People just don't realize it. But I actually think Gates is just better than Rakdos. And you can build it for, like, no money. It's almost like a free-to-play deck. It's very close to a free-to-play deck. You can put it together. Like, I don't think Gate Colossuses in so forth are actually good. I don't even think Gatebreak Ram is good. I think it's a good sideboard card, but I don't think it's I actually think the way to play Gates is play only Primeval Titan as a creature. Only Primeval Titan, no other creatures. Shut off all your opponent's removal and just play it like a Maze's End combo deck, essentially. I think that is actually a very strong, and you have 5 colors, so you get to play. You're 5 colors, so you get to play all the. You get to play all the interaction you want. You get answers to whatever you want. I actually think it's really good. Opponent. I mean, they draw a lot of. I mean, this is the One Ring, right? It draws more cards than the One Ring. it finds things that prevent all the damage for a turn, like the One Ring. Opponent gonna go attacking. Yeah, opponent's back to 20, which is not great. Actually, maybe we gotta keep this Bowmasters. Maybe we block like this. Actually, does any of this matter? I think we just die no matter what we do. Is there anything we can draw that gets us out of this? I don't... Since they found this Archway Angel, they have so much life. I don't think there's anything we can do. Yeah, give it a shot. Do you have a Gates deck list? I do. There's a yeah, I mean that we're super dead. Yeah, whatever. There's gonna be a Budget Magic video coming out on it, so I don't want to spoil it too much, but that's the budget deck list I would recommend. I would just say one of my conclusions from playing the deck is I don't think that Gatebreak Ram is worth it in the main deck. I think so. Here's the deck list. Spoilers, I guess. But so this is the deck list. After playing the deck a bunch, I would bring Gatebreak Ram in the sideboard and play Terra Sunders in the main deck. Terra Sunder, really good removal. Hits Shielded, hits the One Ring, hits whatever you need to get rid of it, even Exiles. So really good removal. Gatebreak Ram, it's just very hit or miss. If your opponent's playing like a Gruul deck and doesn't have hard removal, it's absurd. It's like, it's a ridiculous creature. The problem is, as we've seen today, a huge percentage of decks are Rakdos, and Rakdos actually are just full of hard removal. So most of the time what happens, since there's no, like, the only other creature is Primeval Titan, which is like a combo ramp piece. It doesn't even matter if it dies. But what happens is the opponent just has all their Fatal Pushes and so forth, all their Heartless Acts, whatever, left over in hand. So Gatebreaker Ram just always dies against Rakdos. So I think it's better just to, like, play more removal, minimize the chances of your opponent's removal being live, and then Gatebreak Ram can go in the sideboard and come in against the decks that don't have black removal, basically. If your opponent doesn't have hard removal, then all of a sudden Gatebreak Ram is like a really legitimate backup plan at a minimum. All right, triple wedding announcement. Here we go. I guess we need a land to get to it. We also have a Thoughtseize. Wedding announcement pretty good against sweepers. Well, that is a land. When do we Thoughtseize? Yeah, let's just Thoughtseize first. Thoughtseize you. Opponent. Holy sweepers. Jeez Louise. So they're playing Sweltering Suns 2? That is a lot of sweepers. Well, I mean, I guess we take the Sweltering Suns. Your go, opponent. Yeah, we're playing black-white tokens at the moment. We started with some super-duper janky burn and switched it up with some black-white tokens. Oh, we should have put this on black. Opponent, Baldur's Gate, Gatebreak Ram. Well, okay, wedding announcement number 2. No attacks. Make some tokens. Opponent, Maze's End. Maze's End is the main win con. Well, wedding announcement number 3. Pass the turn. Make some tokens. I think we might lose because we played that pathway on white. If we had played it on black, we could have Shadow Summoning Thoughtseize. So if we lose, there's a decent chances because we played our pathway on the wrong colors. Hey Seth, are you in Goldfish Crew still playing Marvel Snap? I think Richard and in Crim a little bit. I know Richard does. I believe Krim also does. I played a little bit when it first came out, but I have not played it in quite a long time. Ooh, okay. So I think this works. So play Legion Landing, make a token. Go to combat. Attack and flip. Cabrilla takedown. The Ram MDFC power hits ya. Down to 8. Thought sees ya. Take the Archway Angel. All right, opponent, draw that sweeper. Draw that sweeper if you can. Draw it or die. Please don't actually draw it, just die. We would prefer the just die. Oh, and opponent scoops it up. Yeah, so Krim and Richard do. I haven't played it in a minute though. How is it? I've heard that every time I look up Snap, it's people just complaining about the economy, and I can actually kind of empathize because I noticed what. Oh, yeah. That's one of the weird things about Arena is your username is not exclusive. So technically anyone can take your name. Only the numbers make it exclusive. One of the things I've seen about Marvel Snap is people just complaining about the economy. And I ran into that issue with Marvel Snap. What kind of killed it for me eventually and made me stop playing it is I played it for a little bit and I got a few of just like the basic cards that you earn, but then I felt like I could never build any cool decks and I didn't have any way to get the cards. So I lost interest in it because I was just like, I have the same, whatever, 30 cards or something. I couldn't really build a synergistic deck. It was like playing a new player deck in Magic, and I had no way to build something that was like synergistic or had a theme or anything, and I had no way to get the cards to do that. So eventually I just gave up on the whole thing because it wasn't worth the hassle of dealing with. Well, let me see, Cordius. I'm playing this version of Vampires in Historic, and I wanted to see if you had some, and I wanted to see yours, if yours had some spice. Do you have any tips? Ooh. I mean, this looks very solid. So mine was playing Falconwrath Aristocrat, which does work well with Bloodghast, and a fast flying clock is not the worst in some matchups. The downside is it does only have 1 toughness. So unless you have sack fodder, it is vulnerable to Bowmasters, and getting a 4-drop Bowmastered is really brutal. The other option is, like, if you want to go spicy, is go big with Sorin and try to put, like, Galton Mavrin into play, some just huge top-end haymaker. So that's, if you want to add some more spice, that's also a reasonable option. But this looks sweet to me. Cordial Vampire works well with the, like, Sacrifice Bloodghast plan. How has Silver Smote been? Silver Smote's one that, like, I'm kind of on the fence about. It works. So one of the things I've noticed about Vampires is it's not that much of a graveyard deck. We got the Bloodghast, we got the Silver Smotes, but it's not like we're really filling the graveyard that much. Although I wasn't playing Fable, so maybe just having Fable to get things in the graveyard will change a lot of that. But I felt like the Silver Smotes were like kind of underperforming a lot of the time in my build of it. But like I said, I didn't have Fable, so maybe like Fable and Voldaren Epicure to just have more ways to discard. That might be enough, because if you're getting them back for free, like sack a Bloodghast to Sorin, Lightning Helix, you gain 3, get back all your Silver Smotes. That seems really powerful. That's the reason I put the Silver Smotes in my build of the deck to begin with. But I just didn't really have the graveyard stuff to get him in the graveyard consistently enough. I've been cycling with the blood. Yeah, that makes sense. I think you might have enough pieces there. I just discovered There and Back Again on Arena, and I just fell in love with it. I love janky build decks built around fun things. Do you have any suggestions of how to build it other than Revel in Riches on Arena? So I was thinking, so that's the one that makes the Smog token, right? There and Back Again. I haven't built the deck yet, but I had an idea for like an Against the Odds style deck that would just try to copy the token a bunch of times. The question is how to do it on Arena. Oh, what is there's a guild mage, the Return to Ravnica Selesnya guild mage. is just 4 mana populate, so you can copy a creature token. Those 2 cards just go infinite, but the Guildmage isn't on Arena, so I think it would have to be hard mode where you like there and back again. Maybe what's gonna be the best way to do it? You could do some work with I don't know, what's the Vitu-Ghazi, that's what it is. Rotodrobic could do some work. You could play almost in like the Gates again, eh? You could play almost in like the standard Blade of Shared Souls deck we played. Something like that. Like that type of synergy, I think would be really, really good. Well, let's get on Wedding Announcement. Get in with our spirits. Hit you for 2. Can we take down Gates again? Because 14 treasures. So the idea would be you legend rule, you get 14 treasures. Use those 14 treasures to be able to legend rule again. Use those 14 treasures, legend rule again to make infinite mana, and then eventually win the game. Maybe Blade of Shared Selves is actually just the easiest way to do it. I wonder if that's just the best and easiest way. Well, play Cabria takedown. Hit you with the spirits. Down to 16. Draw a card. Pass the turn. We can flash in something or start finish. Oh boy. All right. Well, start finish. Opponent. Gonna get a couple gates. Variant for this 74th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, Intangible Virtue, also Intangible Virtue. Hit you for 12. Down to 4. Draw a card. Flip it. About it. Back up to 7. Gotta have the sweeper. Oh, God. Well, I guess they actually did have the sweeper now, didn't they? They really did have the sweeper. Well, yeah, Farewell in the main deck is not good for us. We could deal with getting our board wrath there, but not all of our enchantments. What? Okay, Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger. This is one of the stranger gates draws I've seen. Well, make some spirits, make some spirits. Hit you down to 9. Pass the turn. About it. I'd love an effect to read ahead sagas that have normal lore counters. Ooh. That would actually be really cool to have a card that, like, made all your sagas have read ahead. That would actually be really cool. Seriously? Alright, sure. Well, I mean, that's... that is not a hand we're going to beat without Thoughtseizes or Duresses. Double Sweeper, Rambanulamog. Yeah, alright. I don't know about Ulamog. I don't think Ulamog... I mean, Ulamog's a powerful card. If you have 10 mana, though, I think you should just be winning with Maze's End. Like, the game should be ending. You shouldn't just be playing a 10-10. Only a 10-10. Seems better than, like, Gate Colossus and stuff, though, I guess. Alright. Bring in a little more discard, run it like that. I mean, Gates is good. It's really good. That would be a cool idea for a Saga's commander. I could get behind that for sure. All right, can we take down the hidden best deck in the format? Can we keep this? Probably not. This is just like spew our hand into our opponent inevitably sweeping our board and us crying. I think that's how that ends. Well, this is not much better, but duress you. Jeez. Wow. Somehow they had a duress-proof hand. That seems unlikely. All right. Well, not looking good, chat. Not looking good. Not looking good at all. Not even a little. All right. Well, hit you for 4. Down to 16. About it. Baldur's Gate. Elvish Rejuvenator. I mean, they still do need to find a sweeper, right? If they don't find a sweeper, If they don't find a sweeper, we can still potentially get them. Hit you to 12. Pass the turn. Opponent, gate. And passing. Well, okay, Orcish Bowmasters. Ping it. Untap. Intangible Virtue. Hit ya. To 2. Do they seek up a sweeper? Die? Oh, Plaza. Prime. Okay, okay. Plaza prime time. So they can prime time to get more life gain, I guess. Three, 6. So if we attack with everything, we'll hit him with the flyers. Lingering Souls. Pass the turn. Wow, they drew every Plaza. Everyone. I mean, they don't have many gates, though. They don't have any gates. Maybe we have a chance. They make a little extra mana. Wow, they're just desperation mode. If we lose to the cheaty gates, I'm going to be so sad. Opponent. Rejuvenator. You got no life gain left, though. You got no life gain left. Get in? Sure, but your lands aren't going to save you. You have found all the plazas in game 12. There's no more in existence. There's rules to this game. There are rules. Can only play 4. Sure, we will not block. We will drop to 12. And kill ya? Wow. We had to fade those sweepers. I hope gates become more evergreen. I think they will. I honestly think it's one of the best decks in the format. People just, it sounds like a meme. It sounds like a budget deck. It sounds like it's not a good deck, but it really is if you put it together and you can build it for like 10 rares or 15 rares. I think it should be one of the most played decks in the format, I think. I think it's actually just like a really good deck, and most people don't realize it's a really good deck. Well, it looks like a token hand. Okay. We got the Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize you. Oh, dear God. Oh, dear good. Dear God, dear God. Divine Purge is really bad. Farewell's also really bad. Huh. I mean, it's got to be Divine. I guess we have to take Divine Purge and then hope that we... Yeah, Emerald Grazer actually going to... I don't think Emerald Grazer is going to gates either, but it's going to work out here for our opponent. So I guess we're hoping to draw another discard spell to get the Farewell. The problem is this Cabal Coffers is going to do some serious... Wow. Opponent is playing a lot of cards that I would never play in gates. Very, very different philosophy, I guess, than my philosophy for building gates. Well, play a land. Go to combat and attack. Opponent's gonna block. We're gonna play Wedding Announcement. I mean, I guess we just have to either draw a discard spell or force them to spend the Farewell. Opponent. Maze's End. How about a Thoughtseize, Magic Gods? Opponent gets in for 1. How about a Thoughtseize? Intangible Virtue. I mean, that probably makes our opponent Farewell. Alright. Intangible Virtue. Go to combat. Hit ya. Not for much, though. Down to 17. Draw a card. Opponent gets to seek a non-land. What's your philosophy for building gates? Well, my philosophy for life is that Abriel Grazer's bad. That extends beyond gates. That's just my overarching philosophy for not even just Magic. That's just life. No grazers. No grazers allowed. But beyond that, all right, there's the farewell. So this is part of the plan. We knew this had to happen because we couldn't find discard. So we get to run out the Bowmasters and ping ya. I think Gates is a combo control deck. That's how I view Gates, is as a deck that's essentially combo control. In that your main plan is to win with Maze's End as quickly as possible. I'm not sure, like, I don't understand, like, Abundant Harvest. It doesn't put a land into play. Why? Why would you play a card that doesn't put a land when you could play Growth Spiral or Explore or something that just, like, draw a card, put a land on the battlefield, draw a card? Because I think the way I view it is you want to go, like, ramp, Primeval Titan, win with Maze's End on, like, turn 6 or something. Like, that's the ideal world of being a gate deck. I don't really understand the appeal of, like, something like Abundant Harvest. I don't know. I don't get it. Spice Lord, welcome to the fishbowl. Got first place at FNM twice in a row. Seriously, you're just always gonna top deck every time. A farewell, apparently. Okay. Congratulations with Gruul Land Control. What's your deck list look like, Spice Lord MTG? Well, opponent has proven to be very adept at drawing farewells. That much is for sure. Well, here we go. Hit ya. Down to 9. I mean, they do have to do it again. They still need another sweeper. If they double farewell and we win, I guess that would be a pretty good sign that tokens is decent. Like, double farewell is a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They could potentially Maze's End win next turn. Abundant Harvest. Elvish Rejuvenator. Elvish Rejuvenator. Cheaty Gate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Seek a non-land. Yeah, we're dead, right? We're just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, the chump blocking of this Rejuvenator is going to save our opponent. We could Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Actually, 3, 4, 5... Actually, no. Wait. This works, doesn't it? Because it has Menace? Do we exactly win? Wow. Yeah. Hive of the Eye Tyrant coming through. But Menace, the most useless mechanic in Magic. Actually, no, that's Devoid. Devoid's the most useless. But Menace actually really ended up mattering there. This exactly. Opponent can jump block one of those and take exactly 9. Well, I gotta say, so tokens. Token seems pretty good, which I guess isn't a surprise, but we beat Double Farewell, which should be kind of unbeatable. They wrapped all of our enchantments and our tokens. They had the Divine Purge in hand. So 8 Snap Burn, it's pretty memey. It's really funny when it works, and if you go back and watch some of the games, we did get some really funny kills with, like, sack the Retributive Wand, a Shrapnel Blast, 10 you by surprise. So it's a really funny meme style deck. As far as being, like, actually competitive, though, it seems to struggle in the One Ring Bowmasters meta. On the other hand, White Black Tokens felt pretty good. The upgrade, since we played it on Budget Magic like a while ago, Bowmasters is huge and Shadow Summon's also huge. So I don't know if you put together the old budget version, definitely got some sweet upgrades to that one. Banning is the most useless because no one understands it. That is true. People have just kind of rule zeroed that mechanic out of Magic because no one wants to think about how it actually works. I couldn't tell you the details about how banding works. Lands list I played in League, the RG lands list I played in the League, and 2 Murktide and Scam. Ooh, nice. Let me see, Spice Lord. Let me see. Lands. Ooh. That actually looks super sweet. I love Loam style decks. Seismic Assault. I mean, Urza Saga really good at decks like this. That looks super spicy. I like it. I like that a lot. Maybe we'll have to do some loaming at some point. Do some lands action. Anyway, everyone, I think that brings us to the end of our stream for today. Good news is, oh man, there's so much coming up. There's so much in the future. It is such an exciting time in Magic. It's almost spoiler season for the fall set. We got tons coming up on the YouTube. We got spoiler season kicking off in another week. And we'll be back on Thursday for some more streaming action for our evening stream, starting at 5 Eastern time on Thursday. So reminders on the way out the door, replay YouTube. That's where you can find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Normal YouTube, tons of stuff going up on there. And one more reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. And if you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/MTG Goldfish. Most importantly, like usual, thank you to all of you. Y'all are amazing and awesome. I know there's a lot of people streaming Magic. There's a lot of non-Magic stuff going on. So seriously, it makes me so happy that y'all decided to hang out for a while. So I hope y'all have an amazing night. Have a great Wednesday. And we'll be back on Thursday for some more streaming action. So until then, everyone, I love y'all. Have an amazing week. And I will talk to you soon.